Hey,
What?
you're on.
Okay.
How's it going?
Jeez.
How's it going, eh?
Pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm dealing with a little TMJ today.
What's that?
It's your masseter joint, or what is it? I forget what it stands for. But anyway, it's this joint right here that connects your jaw to your skull. And
Okay.
sometimes it hurts.
Oh, no.
And the problem is, I've learned, people do all kinds of, like, they'll go to a chiropractor, they'll take all kinds of different supplements and shit to try and fix it.
Yeah.
But all you need to do is just make sure that your alignment is straight. So you, like, sit straight and you don't carry a bag on one shoulder and you don't wear heels. You just, like, walk flat and stuff. And not that I've been wearing heels, because I don't wear heels, but I never sit straight. I'm always sitting, like, sideways, basically, like, laying over, kind of like Jabba the Hutt. I mostly lay down and sit down at the same time. And it screws with my jaw pain here.
Well, don't do it.
And now I got to fix my alignment.
Gotta put you in an alignment thing. Bobo is in the house. Delicate says, hola. Hola back. Our scientist is here. Archival Raccoon. I don't think she was here yesterday. I think I missed her. I'm not sure. If I missed you, then my apologies, because I'm always thinking about you. Serato is here. Splishness is here. I'm so glad to see Split. It's been a minute for Splishness, right? 3, 4, 5 days, something. I don't know. I just, I know when you guys don't come as much as I know when you guys are here. Because I just look forward to seeing you every fucking day. All right, what's going on? How you doing?
Good.
Are you? Mm-hmm. I got this, very good friend of mine. He sent me a article that I just have to share with you because of its enormous. Oh, you know what? I think it's in the email he sent it, actually. It's the stupidity of it is it's extremely large, stupid. And I just want to share it with you because it just blows my mind that this goes on. And worse is not just that it blows my mind that it goes on, but that people like follow what people are saying because they say it. Just because they say it.
Did you say that stupidity is large?
Did I?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I have to remember that.
The stupidity is large today.
All right. This article appears, it was posted on MSN, which there are people who use that. Mm-hmm. I did not know it was still a thing.
Yahoo News.
Yeah. It's like, well, Yahoo I knew because they kind of hung in there with sports a lot and whatever. They try to compete with their, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. Angela, what are you doing?
I'm trying to manage here.
All right. Well, why don't I wait till you settle in there? You're rolling and banging on the set.
Sorry.
All right. Here's the stupid article. It says Blake Lively. This is on MSN. Story by Favor Adoki. It says Blake Lively reportedly being urged by close circle. Sorry, Blake Lively reportedly being urged by close circle to settle Baldoni lawsuit. quote, enough damage has been done.
Oh my God.
And then beneath her, she's got this photo of her like hair blowing in the wind and.
You know what? They should have a photo of her in the tower of the castle, just cackling. That's what they should, because that's definitely like that's definitely like the vibe she's embodying. Because when you feel like you're finally making somebody hurt who has deliberately harmed you, it is such a satisfying feeling. There's no way she's gonna let this go.
So this article is too funny. Blake Lively has reportedly lost the support of her close circle amid her ongoing lawsuit with It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni. The actress and director have been embroiled in a legal battle since the project, with the case set to go to trial in May. Oh, God. However, those close to Blake Lively are said to believe that she may not win and are privately urging her to settle with Justin Baldoni, though she remains determined to see the case through to the end.
Yep, that's right. You're goddamn
right. With only weeks to go before Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni heads to trial, her close circle is reportedly considering whether she should proceed with the case. Can you believe this shit? The actress sued her It Friends With Us It ends with us co-star for sexual harassment and other claims stemming from their time on set and beyond, and has continued to stand firm amid the ongoing legal back and forth with Baldoni's attorneys since the filing of the suit.
The only thing that the people in her closest circle are wondering is what food they're going to serve at the victory party. What cocktails they're going to put on the menu this time. You know?
By the way, this article is probably this article is probably 150 words, and it says it's a 4-minute read. So I just don't know if that says a lot about like their audience or not. You know what I mean? Because it's written certainly very simply, which I appreciate. Mm-hmm. But it's not a 4-minute read. It is like a minute read, but it says a 4-minute read.
Oh, I think that's just generated by whatever like.
I'm making a joke here.
You use.
I'm making a joke that maybe their audiences need 4 minutes to read that. Is that the stupidest shit you ever heard, or is that stupid? Or am I just? Do you think I'm crazy?
No, it's really stupid. There's absolutely nobody in her close circle. Everybody in her close circle understands what the fuck this is, you know, and it's vengeance. Like no, for wrongdoing.
So it's still them, right? That's still them.
Yes, it's still them.
Literally the line.
Yeah.
They're saying they think she's gonna lose. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like you've got listen. I know I get this shit all wrong. Corey Richins sits in a jail while this fucking clown, whose own son said that the man called him.
You're being vague. Can you name people?
Well, just you can fill it in a second.
Okay.
This man is on trial right now.
A completely different man than the man we were talking about.
Right.
Prior.
I'm just talking about. This is a slight on me. So just let me get through this because this is just me poking at my own self. Right. But Corey Richins, to me, should not be sitting in jail. She does. She sits in jail. She's convicted of murder and attempted murder with a mysterious sandwich.
With no evidence.
With zero, not one fucking iota piece of evidence. She sits in jail, and she is about to be sentenced for that crime.
Unbelievable.
It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard. I've never seen anything as outrageous and outlandish as that in my entire life. Of course, I've known it to exist, but I've never actually watched it. And I watched it, and my jaw is still on the floor. This guy, Koenig.
Yeah, his name is Gerhard Koenig.
Gerhard Koenig, he's a doctor, he's an anesthesiologist in Hawaii, and he was caught red fucking handed smashing his wife's head with a rock on a Hawaiian island after she claims he tried to pull her off the cliff to kill her. Then after all of that had happened and some people came to help her and she got helped down the trail, which is only a few minutes from the parking lot. She got rescued.
Yeah.
Cops came. Yeah. This guy went and hid for fucking 8 hours after he fucking FaceTimed with his son, according to his son, who testified under oath onto the stand, where he said
for the prosecution,
that without any doubt whatsoever in his mind, his father said, "I tried to kill her."
Yes.
I tried to fucking kill her.
Gerhard Koenig failed at killing his wife.
But where I'm going with, before
and
you
then
go,
he faced. But you're not okay.
Let me just finish because that's not really the point. We can get into the details when we need to. But the point I'm trying to make is that I was 100% sure that Corey was going to fucking walk. Like I was sure of it. And the jury came back, and I think less than 3 fucking hours. And as soon as we were sitting here live, and there was like, oh my God, there's a verdict. I could not believe it because as soon as it happened. You can check the live if you want. I literally said, she's guilty. She's guilty. There's no way
they're not going to. Because the verdict came back so quickly.
It came back so fast. It was like, that's guilty. There's no way that's definitely guilty. So sure enough, yep, guilty on all fucking charges in absolute totally. I told you about the goddamn sandwich. It's the craziest shit ever. This fucking guy gets caught red fucking handed.
Yes.
2 witnesses who came to the aid of the woman and called 911 where they
interrupted his attempted murder.
They did, and they corroborated her screaming, "He's trying to kill me, he's trying to kill me." Yes. Call 911. She's on the bottom, he's on the top, smashing her with a rock.
Oh my God. They
came back on Corey Richins in less than 3 fucking hours and threw that woman in jail with a mysterious sandwich and no evidence whatsoever to actually tie her to any crime they were accusing of. That's except right. all this fucking.
Yes, but that was Utah.
Deep, like really, really shallow circumstantial evidence. Uh-huh. They come back in less than 3 hours and they're going to throw her in jail for the rest of her fucking life and then some.
Okay.
This fucking guy, the jury's still deliberating on what the fuck are they talking about? This guy's caught red-handed.
How long have they been deliberating?
Now, this guy's defense, by the way, is that it was her trying to kill him.
You said the jury's still deliberating. You're comparing it to 3 hours. You're just going too fast. Nobody can follow along.
They can. Sure. You not believe. They're so good.
Okay, but check this out. Okay, so you're saying that Corey Richins, the jury deliberated in 3 hours and found her guilty with 0 fucking evidence. This is astonishing. Okay?
Yes.
And then you're saying that that the Gerhardt Koenig trial.
Yeah.
Do we know?
I'm saying
have they reached a verdict yet?
I'm saying you should probably.
Excuse me. It's been 6 hours so far, and we're on verdict watch. Have they reached a verdict yet? Because now, since we're doing this, I haven't been watching.
I'm
But
just
the
saying that
jury's
my judgment is bad. I'm trying to say that my judgment is bad. That I am obviously the insane one here. I have to be. I have to be the insane one here. There's just no way it's not me. Like Koenig, like this guy Koenig.
Let's do
caught
some
red-handed.
storytelling, okay?
What's his Gerhardt?
Gerhardt Koenig.
Gerhardt, Gerhardt Koenig trial. Let's go. Let's go to YouTube. Let's see what's up.
Yeah. See live jury deliberating
Right.
or verdict watch.
Let's get there. Let's go there right now. We're gonna get to this reading, guys.
Okay, here's the story. Can I tell the story?
Go right ahead.
Okay, let me just fill in all of these gaps, okay? Gerhardt Koenig is an anesthesiologist. He's married to Ariel Koenig. She is a nuclear engineer, okay? Big brain couple, okay?
Yeah.
She goes on work trips all the time because she's a nuclear engineer. She has to go to where the nuclear power plants are being built, right? So she's constantly traveling on these work trips. She ends up having an affair with somebody she's working with. I don't know if it's a coworker or a boss or whatever, but
Or whatever.
he finds out about the affair.
Yes.
This is his second marriage, by the way. He had a divorce before. He finds out about the affair that Ariel is having with her coworker or whoever, and he confronts her about it. You know, he like collects all the evidence and confronts her about it, and she's very sorry. She's going to make amends. They go to couples counseling, okay? They're
Right.
going to try and make it work out.
Yeah.
He does not ever stop resenting her for it. He constantly brings it up.
6 hours they've been deliberating. Go
Okay.
ahead.
The couples counselor tells them that she has to make amends somehow. And so he just never will let it go. And this is like their whole relationship is him constantly bringing it up and being really sour about it. And she progressively gets like irritated. She's like, okay, well, I was trying, but now I'm not anymore, because this is just like too much. Anywho, it's her birthday and he decides that he is going to go on a hike with her. So he finds a specific hike that is less populated than most because of its level of difficulty. It also is a very narrow trail that goes right up against the cliff edge. And it's like a crazy 700-foot cliff drop or
It's
something.
like a big steep ask.
So he selects this.
The assumption is that you would lose your life if you go crashing into it.
He
Or down
packs a bag with him, and inside the bag, he brings syringes and a vial of propofol, which is a drug that anesthesiologists use to put people
Famous
under.
for killing Michael Jackson.
Yes, exactly.
The Michael Jackson drug, for those of you who watched the Corey Richins trial. Mm-hmm. You know, the one they didn't find in the
exactly.
deceased and descendants.
So
blood?
he's brought that with him on this hike, this romantic hike on her birthday. He selects the day of her birthday to bring her up on this hike.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to get her close. There's a narrow trail, so he keeps trying to he's basically body blocking her so that she gets closer to the edge again and again. And she's like, "Oh, this is weird," and she's not complying, obviously, because he's acting really strange. And so she's like, "You know what? I'm just going to go back." So then he shouts in her face. He says, according to her, this is her story about the attack that happened. He shouts in her face and he's like, "You know what? I'm sick of your shit." And he grabs her hard by the shoulders and tries to throw her off the edge. She, very wisely, it saved her life. She drops to the ground. She throws herself on the ground. He gets on top of her and he pulls out a syringe because he's going to try and get her with the propofol. I guess that was his plan B. And she smacks that away. So he's lost the syringe. Then he grabs a rock and it's like lava rock everywhere because it's Hawaii. And starts beating her over the head. She starts screaming for her life. There's two other hikers emerging from the base of the trail. They hear her and they come upon them and they interrupt the attack. She's covered in blood and he just stands up and he runs away. So they retrieve her and they pull her down. They call the cops. There's body cam footage of her absolutely covered in blood. There's a bunch of evidence of her in the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor testified about her wounds. They're severe, and he is missing. He goes missing for 8 hours. But right after the attack, he goes over to another cliff's edge part and he FaceTimes his teenage son. And on the FaceTime, the teenage son, who's a witness for the prosecution, he takes the stand and he says that his dad FaceTimes him and says, "Son, I tried to kill my wife today. I tried to kill Ari today and she got away from me. And so I'm just going to kill myself. I'm not going to be able to make it home." So he's going to throw himself over the cliff's edge. He hangs up the phone. The kid is super distraught, goes over to his grandparents' house, who happen to be her mother and father. They can't locate her on the phone because she's been taken to the hospital, obviously. And the guy, the husband, he continues to go missing. He's hiding in the woods. He doesn't kill himself, but he goes missing for 8 hours. Okay? When he finally descends the mountain, the cops spot him. He knows he's been spotted and he runs. This guy is acting guilty all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Not only did he confess to his son, but he was seen by two hikers, two witnesses that witnessed him in the act of attempting to kill her. Okay. Now this guy is a defendant in an attempted murder trial, second degree. Okay. His defense is that he he carries the propofol and syringes with him all the time because he's on call as an anesthesiologist and he doesn't know when he's going to have to get into the hospital. Never mind that hospitals have protocol where they have their own propofol and their own syringes.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
So that's his explanation. He
on.
said that he just wanted to go on this hike that they'd never been on before. Totally innocent. He says that she actually shoved him when they were at the cliff's edge and they were going to take a selfie. She shoved him and he turned around and he attacked her in self-defense. That's what he says. Oh, and when he called his son, he said that it was windy that day and maybe his son didn't hear him. But what he said was, she's going to say that I tried to kill her, not I tried to kill Ari and she got away. That's his defense. The guy is so guilty. He apparently can't explain why when he said that he was descending the mountain finally to turn himself in, that when he saw the cops, he ran from them and they had to tackle him to the ground. He also can't explain how he has like no injuries and she has massive wounds. Anyway, the closing arguments were yesterday and the jury is deliberating today and we are still waiting for some reason to hear what they say, but I would be stunned if he got away with it.
Me too. Yeah, I know, guys, you've seen all the behind the stuff, seen stuff now because Angela put on a request that I put the jury watch right there, so it's on there. So
you put it on the screen?
We'll see if there's a verdict.
I thought you were just going to put it on one of your screens so you could watch.
No, it's going to be right there now. Everyone can see if there's a verdict.
That's funny.
We're doing a verdict watch. That's what
clever.
We'll do when we're waiting on Livelies.
I liked it when it was in the corner. Can you scoot it back over?
Okay, yeah.
Or you can put it over. I've got nothing going on my shirt. You want to put it over there? Sometimes you gesture with your hands, and so we need to see those.
All right, you're right. You're always right. All right.
Did I miss anything? Did I give you the whole rundown?
You did.
Did I tell the whole story?
You did. I gotta take it off air just for a second because I need to make adjustments. All right, so.
Those two women on that hiking trail, they saved her life, dude. And they were both nurses. They were both emergency room nurses.
I know.
So they were able to give her first aid immediately. Isn't that incredible?
Amazing.
Yeah, total angels, dude.
Crazy. It's like the affluent hike spot or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, if you live in Hawaii, you're probably, unless you're generational, if you move to Hawaii and you make a life there, you're probably wealthy, I guess.
Probably. All right, guys. Now I got this thing up and running. See? This is a top-notch operation around here. What's up, Cosmic Urgency? It's good to see you. Let me see. Let's see. All the court stuff is same to me. Might as well be Blake. But yes, since Dale is always wrong, and that means she's gonna lose, doesn't it? That's what I'm saying, bro. I think she might be fucked. Actually.
What?
I'm either bad luck or I'm stupid as fuck, and I'm willing to live with whatever it is. Like I'm not afraid of just being just absolutely way less smart than I think I am.
Yeah, but it does get you down when juries decide differently than you think it should have gone. I think you have I think you're very sensitive to justice matters. Like you definitely are. You really care.
I can't, listen, I mean, I can't explain how you put a person like Corey Richens in jail with the evidence they brought. I just can't believe that you would take a mother from her children with that evidence.
I can't believe that the defense didn't just explain, yes, this woman is dumb, and yes, she said dumb stuff. But you need to be looking for evidence that's hard evidence without a single shred of doubt.
We're talking about putting
in order to put somebody away
murder.
for murder.
Yeah.
And tear her away from her children who have lost their
prosecutor wants you
father.
to believe that she killed him but didn't get the drug she even ordered. She didn't get the drug she ordered. The drug she ordered wasn't in their system. Maybe she did get the drug she ordered.
You're not saying it right. The victim did not have in his body the drugs that she allegedly bought.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be creative, but yeah.
It's just you can't tie her to the crime. There wasn't a crime, but you can't tie her to the death at all. It's crazy. Anywho, Gerhard Koenig, on the other hand, He made up a wild story.
No, and it's just, and the thing about the Koenig case where I'm just blown away as I was ranting about when I first started the life is that this guy, his son, and it's his biological son, the person he attempted to murder, according to the DA, was this boy's stepmother.
Yes.
So this boy testified against his own father, and he wouldn't refer to him as his father. He would only call him the defendant.
Yes.
He hasn't spoken to him since the incident. And he was the first person, we think, he was the first person, perhaps even the only person, that the defendant reached out to.
Yeah.
He FaceTimed him. The fucking defense tries to say that it was windy, so he didn't hear him say what he actually said, which is that she tried to kill him.
No. What the defense says is that he said, she thinks I tried to kill her instead of I tried to kill Ari, right? He said, I tried.
Well, no,
what he actually said,
I think you're getting that a little bit wrong. And the reason I think so is because remember that he's alleging that she tried to kill him.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about the FaceTime phone call.
Me too.
What they're alleging that he misheard was I tried to kill Ari and she got away.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. And then the prosecutor, and again.
But it's not a phone call. It's a video call. He could see his lips move.
Which was one of the prosecutor's great questions was like, could you see his mouth? Could you see the words he was saying as he said them? You know, we know what's, you know, so the kid said yes. Remember, the kid is testifying to put his dad in jail for attempted murder.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And so that's the weight of the testimony.
Yeah.
And this kid's testimony was as credible as any I've ever seen on a stand. I mean, it was just the truth incarnate. You know, there was no, I think it's impossible to watch that testimony and think that kid's lying or that kid doesn't have it right. The prosecutor he fumbled, but he picked it, you know, he corrected it. And so I can't imagine that any juror was able to walk away with anything other than absolutely positively sure that witness heard his father say, I tried to kill her. And then he told his son he was going to kill himself because he couldn't go on.
I tried to kill Ari and she got away.
And she got away was the other thing he said. She got away.
The defense is so thin.
But here they are, 6 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not playing. All right, I'm on it.
They don't have the spinning fan like they did during the Karen Reed trial. That was useful. That was helpful.
Get it all the way up to 6 hours, 19 minutes, 35 seconds. Did it stop again?
Oh, because you can't play it on your screen?
No, of course I can.
Well, just play it on yours.
It's playing.
Make it private. A private experience.
Everything's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. All right. I got to look this way to see.
Dale, what if we did the entire show like this?
Well, we'd be one of those, like, what do they call those? Vocal fry people?
ASMR.
Thanks for coming to our podcast. ASMR, yeah. Hey, man, that's a big thing. I think Cosmic Urgency said he really liked ASMR. What was he timed out for? What are you timing out Cosmic Urgency for? Come on. What are you doing?
Timing out? What does that mean? Time out?
Why did you time out Cosmic Urgency? What is going on?
Cosmic Urgency got timed out?
All the court stuff? Yeah.
So what?
Well, no, by one of our mods.
No, I mean, so what if he says all the court stuff is lame and that Dale's always wrong?
Yeah, that's fine.
You can handle it.
Don't time him out.
We
were having fun.
Can you untime him out? Is that possible?
I'd be careful with who, you know, he's one of us, 100%. And sometimes that can include, but not in this case, not for me at least, that can include disagreeing with somebody.
Light bullying is okay.
That's not bullying.
No, him saying you're always wrong.
I was the one doing the self-deprecating.
Yes, it's light bullying. That's why.
There's no light bullying. We don't want any bullying of any kind.
Okay.
We don't condone any kind of bullying, but we like playful
I think a little
rants.
light bullying is fine.
All right. Well, you know, the whole term gives me gets my shit, you know, bullying. I don't like bullying. All right. Don't time out Cosmic Urgency. Okay. Here's the thing with timing. You can't time out any of the regulars without asking me first.
Scientist said, well, we can't ruin an innocent man's life over a little attempted murder.
Exactly. He was an anesthesiologist. This was a very important person.
I was thinking today about his son's experience in life. Okay. This teenage son, he lives in Hawaii. His mom lives all the way in like Pittsburgh. So it's like obvious. He's got an obvious choice. He's going to live with He's going to live with his dad. Okay. In Hawaii. His teenage son works at Chick-fil-A. And they only hire like the most cheery, virginal creatures.
Squeaky clean people who give their cars to people. Oh, you walk?
So
Here,
this
take
kid
my car.
Lives with his dad and his stepmom, and she's a nuclear engineer, and his dad is an anesthesiologist. So like their entire adult friend group is all scientists and doctors. And then all of a sudden, his world gets turned upside down because his dad turns out to be a murderer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Lucky for that kid, he didn't succeed, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's so gruesome.
Well, the jury, apparently there's somebody in the jury who's like, I think she's the one who tried to kill him. It's the craziest thing ever. This woman was gashed and bleed, like just hurt when they show the body cam footage and she's just covered in blood. And so she's just gashed by this multiple bashing to her head.
And the emergency room doctor's testimony is really, really crazy too, because he talks about how different each one of her injuries on her head was. That means he struck her many, many times with force enough that he was trying to crack her skull.
The other thing that was very compelling was that the prosecutor told the jury that he had an obligation to retreat.
Yes, that's right. They don't have a stand your ground. You can't just stand and fight if somebody's threatening your life. You're supposed to bounce.
Yeah, in Hawaii. Now he was on top is the reason why that's important. And as pointed out to the jury, like he was on top. He was hitting her from on top.
That's right.
He had an obligation.
Why are they still deliberating?
Yeah, this is an easy guilty.
I hope they're just waiting for lunchtime so they can get some snacks or something.
Yeah.
And then they'll call it.
All right, listen. Just some kind of cool housekeeping. Here's the goal, but now on the main channel, meaning, the video where I've never really been posting consistently. Well, going forward, I'm just going to be reposting the entire live that I use through some auto cut on my DaVinci Resolve till I can afford an editor. I'm just going to do some auto cutting. So it's an auto cut version of the entire live on the main channel under videos. You're welcome to check it out if you ever feel like doing a rewatch. Although you will miss the live chat, and that's definitely half the game around here. So anyway, just letting you guys know. Eventually, that might lead to us, putting out shorts and stuff like that. Honestly, I can't stand myself.
What?
Because if I'm cutting myself for too long, I'm just like, ugh. I'm cutting my audiobook right now, and I'm just like, I
thought you meant in general. I was like, damn, I didn't know. That's terrible.
Well, I like myself fine. I just don't like myself as like a talent that I like cutting.
No, I mean, me too. Anytime
you don't like me either. That's nice to hear.
No, not you.
Kidding. You see what boom, boom. My wife.
The Junk Farm said, I don't understand Dale's soft spot for this troll. He was blocked ages ago. I guess you're outnumbered, Dale.
I just see him differently. I think he's a good dude.
The Junk Farm's got the right idea. If he bothers you, you guys can just block. It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy. I think he's being misunderstood right now, but that's okay. I mean, it happens all the time. I'm inherently misunderstood.
M. Serrata said that's called teasing. I said light bullying.
It's like he says funny things. He said like, which hall monitor went power mad this time? I mean, that's a very funny thing to say. He's calling you guys hall monitors, which is a funny thing to say. I don't think that's insulting. Now, maybe I'm just that's a guy thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's not funny to you.
It is funny to me.
That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean, you were a comic too, so it's like that's all you guys do when you hang out together, right?
Yeah, a little friendly banter has always been a good thing, and I like that kind of sense of humor. If I know that it's coming in jest, and anytime that Cosmic Origin or anybody for that matter has gotten on my nerves, I've just said so. Like be like, hey, don't fuck around or whatever. But I have a very wide sort of whatever. I like a lot of people. Like all kinds.
Yes.
So, the reason why I do is because from a creative perspective, I want to know everybody. I want to know how they talk. I want to know what makes them tick. I want to know their sadness. I want to know their happiness. I want to know their anger. I want to know all that stuff, man. To me, that is where the beauty of the universe lives as it relates to humanity, is in the personalities and the incredible diversity in them. You know, I obviously have lower tolerance for people who I believe have bad intentions. And I don't care if their bad intentions is because of, ignorance or because of intent, overt intent. Either way, like if you're bringing harm, that's when I'm like, ugh, Yeah. That's when Alan comes in and barks and becomes a jerk off. But, for us, for the rest of us, yeah, man, I'm into just like, enjoying our time together. All right.
Okay, we're still on.
Tanner's here. He's probably here because he knows the Phils, bro. They can't win games.
Tanner.
What's up, Tanner? It's good to see you.
Okay, so jury watch. This is really funny. Splishness says, that's the scary thing about a jury of your peers. Many of my peers are stupid.
It's fucking true. It's the scariest thing. It's like, I want a jury. Because there's this presumption that everyone that's going to get sat there is just like somebody you would have a cup of coffee with and feel confident in their opinion.
Yeah. God.
Nope.
And then M. Serrata said the jury is just milking that sweet, sweet jury pay.
Yeah, exactly. They want that fucking free parking.
Junk Farm said they could just be fighting for how long to send him away for, couldn't they?
Mm-hmm. Is that true? I don't know. I don't think I think sentencing is a different day.
I think sentencing is the judges, isn't it?
Well, if it's not, I still think it's a different day. But maybe not. Maybe you're right. That could be it.
Archival Raccoon said, or are Hawaiians too chill to convict anyone?
Well, that was something I thought about. I was like, are they just like, come on, it got out of hand, but it's not like he should go to jail. I mean, okay, time served, man. Time served.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Send the guy. Who's he going to kill now? Is no one's ever going to sleep with that guy. Oh God, I'm telling you, bro, this guy is as guilty as anybody, and it was proven. And I didn't see it was a month-long trial, so obviously I didn't see it all. I didn't see it all. So I'm saying that based on the snippets of testimony that I've pulled down, right? Which were his own testimony. It is a laughable situation. But the thing is that he's incredibly articulate.
Yes, this is the thing.
He's like a good witness.
I know. He does not.
That might be it, because he's a good witness.
He doesn't read as a guy who would commit murder.
He doesn't.
At all
No.
whatsoever.
No, he looks like somebody who would, that's just, what a bamboo. But I mean, it is what it is. Like when you said that, you actually, you brought that up, and you did so, like, I think maybe, very observantly, because
I was watching
that might be the thing that has these guys going, I don't know, man, I kind of believed him when he said so.
Oh my God.
Because the guy he was a good witness. The problem, I might have believed him too, if his son, and for me, this is it. This is the door, slam the door, take the key, pull it out.
Oh my God.
Okay. It's a wrap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this dude's son said, beyond any doubt, he said, I tried to kill her. Now, I guess you could paint. I tried
to kill Ari, and she got away.
Yes. Like that's where like you rule out self-defense.
Oh my God!
What do you mean she got away?
The kid didn't imagine him saying that.
Okay. I'm crazy. Clea Duvall's making a sequel to True Beverly Hills. How random. I don't know who the fuck paid for that.
Oh, I just saw too that.
I knew that chick. She was a cool girl. I liked her so much. But
what was her name? The director of Barbie, but she was like an indie darling for a really long time. She directed what's her name? What the hell's her name? Who directed Barbie, babe?
Oh, yeah. What's her name? Noah Baumbach's wife, right?
Yes.
What's her name, bro?
I can never remember her name.
You took it away from me. You stole it from all of us.
Greta Gerwig.
It
is a memorable name. I don't know what my problem is.
And she's wonderful, man. I love her.
Anyway, she just
as
signed,
an actor.
I'm following the trades now, so I got my finger on the pulse.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Is it beaten?
She just signed with CAA. She's gonna direct an adaptation of Narnia.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're just like throwing a bunch of like children's fantasy whatever at her.
I mean, I'm thoroughly excited for Lord of the Flies, which got picked up by
Yes.
Netflix, which was the BBC production made by the same people who made Adolescence. I can't fucking wait.
Now's your chance, folks, to read Lord of the Flies before you watch the Netflix adaptation.
Great book. You don't want to miss that book anyway. You know, if you're breathing, and you read anything at all,
good.
if you read text, read this book.
William Golding, I think it is. Anyway, it's really short and it's a page turner.
John Farm saying, "Well, hey, most serial killers are pretty smooth." It's true. I mean, Ted Bundy. I mean, remember the
This
lawyer
guy
just
is
soaked.
not smooth.
Remember the judge just soaked with like, just distraught, practically distraught that he had to sentence Ted Bundy. I gotta tell you, you're a heck of a guy, and you would have made a good lawyer.
Oh my God. You know what's really interesting is that
But you went the wrong way.
It's crazy that he is a professional. He is an anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
An anesthesiologist, any doctor, is not permitted to carry around their own anesthesia drugs.
I can't believe. I mean, did the prosecutor not bring it because it was a month-long trial? Tell me there was
He brought it up in the closing, but we haven't watched that day of.
I'm just saying they must have had an expert saying, no, that would be very uncommon for an anesthesiologist to be walking around with a shot of fucking.
He says, I carry it around because I'm on call to like as a field medic. Like you have to
Exactly.
you have to do anesthesia.
Like a helicopter comes to get you, because if a helicopter's coming to get you, maybe they have some too.
So you can like go and be an anesthesiologist in a park somewhere or something, like, because usually you're going to be in an operating room where they have like all of the drugs in a cabinet, and everything's accounted for.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I fucking think that Blake Lively's screwed because I'm terrible at this stuff. Corey should have walked.
Corey Richards should have
This
walked.
guy should have been. This jury needed to go and have a sandwich.
Yeah.
Hey, was that egg salad? It's guilty, right? Okay.
Yeah, hopefully that's what it is.
Who wants to be the guy to tell the guy?
The thing about Corey Richards, she wasn't going to walk because she did do those financial crimes. But it's just crazy to say that she was
Oh,
guilty
no, she would have walked. That would have been a time served situation for sure.
Oh, okay.
For sure. She's been in jail for like 3-4 years already.
Yeah, that's true.
2-3 years? Oh, good Lord. All right, listen.
The Junk Farm says, who hasn't smacked their old lady with a rock?
I mean, when you gotta, you gotta.
On her
you know what I
birthday,
mean?
on a picturesque hike.
On a picture. When you gotta, you gotta. The craziest thing about it is that he caught her cheating. He had all the motive too. Like they were able to establish like the perfect motive.
Oh yes, they were able to establish another thing too.
They call it was kind of a double-edged sword, right? In that regard, because on the one hand, it's like maybe that could be her motive. I don't know how.
No. So check this out.
To kill him. She's having an affair and she kills him. Oh, that's classic.
They showed that his search history included that he was looking through how much his old divorce cost, and it was a fucking lot.
Yeah.
And they had kids together too, so he would have to pay child support and everything. And then he also.
I think it was deranged love personally, because I think, she was a catch.
She had a life insurance policy. And so just like a month before this attack, he opened his own life insurance policy.
On himself.
Which to me seems like he's planning. And of course that came up in the trial. As if like, who would ever act like that if they were guilty? Well, that's exactly what you would do if you were guilty, so that you could explain later that exonerates you. Whatever. I guess I'm doing a bad job of explaining.
Don't jinx Blake, said Serrata. Well, listen, I don't want to jinx her. I've been sitting here arguing on her behalf to dozens of people for a long time. Yeah. We got our first comment on the main channel, and they're already disappointed in us because they were really excited for a 2-hour podcast on, that was going to be objective, which,
Who expects this from us?
This was a very nice person. Seems like a very nice person. In fact, they said they thought that we seemed very cool, but
that's nice.
We didn't have a bias, but our bias was pretty obvious.
Oh yeah, I'm totally biased at this point.
Yeah, it was not biased. It was just like you're not biased. You're biased. Don't pretend you're not biased.
Listen,
you have a
like,
hunch on one way or another.
I'm not like a robot, dude. I'm gonna have biases. Everybody does.
I'm gonna write them a lengthy response. I'm excited about it because I get to introduce myself because they don't know who I am. I'm the Dale Wheatley after all.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
It's good to see Junk Farm here. I was missing him when we were like bashing through these, this ruling because he brings us invaluable insight, So he's here tonight to get us through part 3, day 3.
It's wonderful. What's the latest on the verdict watch?
6 hours, 35 minutes of eating sandwiches.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. I can't. I'm fucking beside myself. They caught him red-handed. They're like, did they though?
Dude, in his closing argument, the prosecutor was like, these women heard screaming and they approached the victim and being attacked by her husband. Okay. And they did not witness the end of the attack like the defendants want you to believe.
Yeah.
They are the cause of the end of the attack.
Yeah, they prevented murder.
Yes, he would have kept beating her.
He was going to kill her in that moment, and then he was going to toss her body over the cliff.
Yeah.
And call 911.
That was the plan.
She fell. Oh my God, the love of my life. Messy, bro.
Sicko.
Yeah, dude. If it wasn't for the sun, man, I'm telling you, can't get off it. It's just it's driving me crazy. You made me put this verticlock on and it's staring at me like an owl. All right.
I didn't make you do it. You could turn it off. You have autonomy. You got free will.
Junk Farm said it would be hilarious if he got away with it, but then found guilty for having expired drugs on him.
Oh yeah, I know. If he lost his medical license. Haha.
All right, guys. Well, in another crazy case where Blake Lively's friends are urging her to walk away now while she still can. I mean, that article was just so funny. You should get out now while you still can.
Who
Barbie.
are they even talking to?
It's fucking
who is that
unbelievable.
article for?
I don't know.
I think that's what they call copium, where you're like, you're basically just trying to, do you tell yourself sweet lies in order to make it seem like it's not so bad?
Well, my buddy who sent me that, he has this whole aggregate that he pulls shit down from, and he follows the show, big supporter, and so he pulls down the news on her. So he'll send me stuff from, 7 different sites, he's not like me where I narrow it down to like 3 places. He's more, I don't know, tuned in than I am in that way. So that's how he got it. But to whom that is being sent, I have no idea. Is it to whom that is being sent?
That's right. The subject of the sentence is the who. The object of the sentence is the whom.
Oh my God. Junk Farm sold his house and he's moving to Ireland on Monday. Oh,
I mean, congratulations.
That is the greatest thing, man. I wish I could come with you. I do. Ireland, it's cold. It's got lots of beer drinking.
So it's someone else's junk farm now?
It's somebody else's junk farm now.
It's somebody else's worms?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sad and I'm happy for you. Sad for the rest.
You must be sad to have sold your worms.
Yeah. Now we'll see him most infrequently. I'm just all for selfish reasons. I'm like, I wish he hadn't.
Well, what's the time difference?
It's like 4 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not a big deal.
No, sorry, it's more than that. I don't know. Fucking A. Now I gotta know.
Am I reading today or what?
Yes.
What's happening?
What's the current time?
In Ireland.
All right. Somehow they just know that's what I'm asking. It's 11:44 right there right now. Hey, and we've been on, so it'd be 11 o'clock. We'll probably see him.
A little nightcap?
I don't know if he's, I just read today for future shows, but I just read today, you got to get to 7 hours and they're like for cardiac related disease and events. The studies show overwhelmingly that people who go to bed at a regular hour, reasonable hour, like before midnight, they're not saying you can't have your occasional out and have a good time with your friends kind of thing. But what they are saying is got to be in bed by 11.
Everything in moderation.
Better be in bed by 10 and get at least 7 hours. At least 7 hours. And I got these eye things now that I put over my head because all these fucking headaches
It's called a blindfold.
Blindfold. I got a blindfold. I put that on. It's very comfortable, contour, and blocks out all the light amazingly without, making it itchy or hurting on my head. So I've been getting 7 hours. It's very unusual for me.
I just love that everybody's picturing you now with like a little frilly pink fucking blindfold. You pull it down, you're like, sweet dreams.
I turned to Angela like last night, I think it was the night before, and the thing's like over my eyes, and I'm like, you look amazing right now. All right, let's go. Commence the reading.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. Where we left off, the judge is going to tell us all about the good faith basis. Okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
A reasonable jury could conclude that Lively opposed practices that she subjectively believed constituted sexual harassment by complaining about inappropriate behavior in the protection letter and during the all hands meeting.
Okay, so that's just a wrap, right? Like, there's no more to be said by the Baldoni fans.
All the
about
Wayfair
that.
parties are saying that
It's
she reasonably believed. Yeah.
It's fucking right there in writing by the judge, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That a jury could reasonably find that she found.
A reasonable jury could
Yes.
conclude that Lively opposed practices that she subjectively believed constituted sexual harassment by complaining about inappropriate behavior in the protections letter and during the all hands meeting.
There you go.
The Wayfair parties have not specifically contested Lively's subjective belief that she was discriminated against.
Exactly
And
what we've
there
been
is-
saying. They fucking admit to it.
Yep, and there is sufficient evidence suggesting that she felt she had been.
Come on.
Again, this is at the top of page 106. So if any of you guys are
That's not even midway through,
just
right?
today, they were like, no SH, there's no evidence. And then you have to remind these people that Baldoni admitted that she did experience the things she complained about, that he believes that she made these complaints in good faith, and that he describes the events that happened. And of course, he minimizes them by saying that he didn't intend it to be sexual harassment.
It makes that article
but he's
even-
still describing exactly what she does in several of these. So anyway,
It makes
the
that-
top of page
it makes that
106.
article- let me say this. It makes that article even more ridiculous because if her friends were going to advise her on anything, clearly they would know that the judge is only dismissing something because of a technicality, and that otherwise believed that a jury could have found for her and then therefore should have heard the evidence if it fell within whatever definition he needed it to in order for that to happen. Go ahead.
The Wayfair parties have not specifically contested Lively's subjective belief that she was discriminated against, and there is sufficient evidence suggesting that she felt she had been. During the first week of filming, she complained privately to a friend that, in quotes, "It's like HR nuts today, the both of them. I wasn't expecting that turn. I mean, it's been present, but today I came home and cried. They're just being creeps. Like, keep your hormones to yourselves. This is not mine. I don't want it. I don't want your gaze or words or tongue or videos of your naked wife." Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah, dude.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah, that sounds so bad, man.
Lively also privately indicated that she was dreading returning to production because of her experience during the first phase of filming. Baldoni himself made statements suggesting that he understood Lively made her complaints in good faith. He stated,
See?
"I just know her personality, and this is the kind of person that genuinely believes she's right and that all of this is just unjust." To which Melissa Nathan responded, "She fully does. I know it."
Oh my God, you guys built the fucking, you didn't just fucking put the fucking rope around your neck. You literally built the whole fucking structure.
The gallows?
Was the gallows? It
Yeah,
is
the gallows. It's this, again, it's still page 106.
Take me to the gallows.
Along similar lines, Baldoni told friends, in quotes, "It's hard to feel so much of what they believe about me is false because they are so convinced that it's real. We are told this was the worst experience of her life." To be sure, the Wayfair parties have suggested that Lively used her experience on set as a cudgel for control over the film. Heath stated that she continues to hold a threat over our heads, and every time we try and hold a line, she uses that threat either directly or indirectly to get us to fold.
It's that hold the line verbiage right there that I take umbrage with. Because I believe the hold the line that they're talking about there is they're interfering with her contractual rights.
Yes, this is right.
And not only just her contractual rights, but the spirit of filmmaking in general. It's a collaborative fucking environment, bro. You need to embrace that even when, and this is the truth about filmmaking, in my opinion. You need to embrace that even when, especially when it's like, he's not fucking Kubrick. He's not fucking Woody Allen. And Woody Allen would actually embrace it. Not that Woody Allen is anything other than a good director.
I know, but listen.
My point is that that statement by Jamie Heath is a statement that I believe helps her.
I think that the context of this statement more broadly is that Jamie Heath has been the one who has been in negotiations with her about the unsigned actors loan out agreement.
Yeah.
And we just learned from reading this judge's ruling. I mean, obviously this was evident to anybody following the case more closely than I have. But I just learned, I guess I should say, that the lack of the signature was about how she had put language in there that says if she witnesses sexual harassment, she is entitled to walk. This might be exactly what Jamie Heath is talking about, because he won't sign that document. The Wayfarer party, or the company, isn't going to sign a document that allows her to walk if she thinks she's being sexually harassed.
No.
So it could be that that's what he's talking about, that she's making threats, right? That she wants that wording in there, and she's not going to sign otherwise, but they need her to sign because it has all these other provisions, which on another provision that he wants her to sign that for is that it would cap her ability to seek damages. And because she hasn't signed it, there's no cap of the ability to seek damages. So Jamie Heath wants her to sign that because it would cap damages, and for several other reasons, right? Because he's trying to do business. She doesn't want to sign it. She wants him to sign it because she has added language that says if there's sexual harassment, I can walk. And so they're kind of at the stalemate. So I think that's what Jamie Heath was talking about here, more broadly. Obviously, he's talking about whatever happened that day because they're having conflicts every day. But he stated, she continues to hold a threat over our heads, and every time we try and hold a line, she uses that threat either directly or indirectly to get us to fold. Now, is he talking about those contract negotiations? Anyway. The judge continues, Baldoni states that the protections were, in quotes, sent in an effort to gain power over him personally and the studio. But a reasonable jury could find that Lively also genuinely experienced what happened on set as discriminatory. The two are not mutually exclusive. There is at least a triable issue with respect to whether Lively sincerely experienced what happened on set as sexually harassing. He says the two are not mutually exclusive. What he means is she could have been holding her experience on set as a cudgel for control over the film, and also have genuinely experienced what she deemed was sexually harassing on the set. So the judge is right here. The two are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
There is at least a triable issue with respect to whether Lively sincerely experienced what happened on set as sexually harassing. Okay, continuing. Objective basis. Viewed in the light most favorable to Lively, because that's what the judge is always going to do for the motion for summary judgment and judgment on the pleadings.
Yeah, I believe he's compelled to. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to. He has to viewed in the light most favorable to the non-moving party. Okay, viewed in the light most favorable to Lively, there is also sufficient evidence that it was reasonable for her to believe that the Wayfarer party sexually harassed her by creating a hostile work environment. In analyzing this issue, the court need not and does not determine whether the relevant conduct rose to the level of sexual harassment.
This is what's so fucking annoying, because this is the horn they keep honking, and it's bullshit. Honk, honk. I should get
you keep honking that horn, fella, but that's bullshit.
Quit honking that horn.
That's a bullshit horn.
That ain't a horn to be honking.
That horn sounds like bullshit to me.
I'm gonna start yodeling it.
This is page 107. That's pretty quotable.
It's crazy.
There is also sufficient evidence that it was reasonable for her to believe that the Wayfarer party sexually harassed her by creating a hostile work environment. In analyzing this issue, the court need not and does not determine whether the relevant conduct rose to the level of sexual harassment. The question is instead whether Lively's belief was, as some courts have put it, utterly baseless. That's a quote. This quote, employees are often legally unsophisticated and will not be in a position to make employees are legally unsophisticated and will not be in a position to make an informed judgment as to whether a particular practice or conduct actually violates the governing anti-discrimination statute. That's a citation.
Well, that's a very interesting citation, isn't it? Because that goes to good faith, right?
Yeah, you can have a complaint and be
be
wrong
off your
about
ass.
it. Yeah.
You can be off your ass.
It's still protected.
Yeah, you can be like, he looked at me from across the room. Okay? Into my eyes.
I have been around people who would do that, and it's very creepy.
Me too.
That they're not doing anything wrong. There is enough evidence in the record to conclude that it was far from baseless, is what the judge is saying.
Right.
And I agree.
Me too.
Hostile work environment claims under FEHA operate under the same guiding principles as those under Title VII. Let's see. California courts have adopted the same standard for hostile work environment sexual harassment claims under the FEHA. Courts accordingly often analyze Title VII and FEHA hostile work environment claims together. A hostile work environment arises when the work is permeated with discriminatory intimidation, ridicule, and insult that is sufficiently severe or pervasive to alter the conditions of the victim's employment and create an abusive working environment.
Cosmic Urgency, I'm sorry, Junk Farm says, also it's super weird to him that they put her to work and paid her with no contract. Stupid as fuck. It's really actually very common in the show business because you have to remember, like, these things are short. They're like 6 weeks. They don't anticipate a lot of problems when it comes to that kind of thing to begin with. But also, these windows close fast and these people move on and they have to because they're worth just loads of money. At this time in her career, she has many offers at all times to consider. And then options beyond those offers, which would be her own initiatives, things that she might want to direct or produce or collaborate with Taylor Swift on another music video or whatever the fuck it might be. But she's got this kind of huge massiveness in her life. And so the way the Hollywood machine has to function is in these short windows of opportunity. And so if there's an ongoing negotiation, as long as they have the principles in place that would allow every party to be comfortable moving forward to get production and post-production underway, they're going to do that, and then they continue on with whatever negotiations are left, sort of unresolved.
You explained this to me. I thought it was really insightful about the contract signature only really being necessary at the point of sale anyway, right?
Well, I mean, it's a little different at the big studio
Sony's
level.
already distributing.
Yeah, they're at the bigger studio level. It's a little bit different, but they definitely want a clean contract book for their insurance. So everything you want, want everything buttoned up. You want to go, but it's not the same as like if you were going to go and go work for a Fortune 500 company as a director of something, like a director of a department.
Right.
If you're going to go do that, you're going to, or even a regular, like, I mean, I was like a C-level sales guy, right? So I was at that high level of sales where you go and I pitch C-level guys, whatever. But in those situations, I had my deal signed before I went and made my first call. So in those corporate situations, you're definitely going to get that stuff buttoned up before the employee engages. But that's because we're not narrowed down to a 6 week window that will rapidly shut and fuck up the whole multi-million-dollar project.
I think it's also that
hung up on one fucking point or another.
I think also a relevant detail that people might be missing is that she signed on with an offer letter.
Yeah.
That had contractual language in it.
Yeah.
So it's not like she was working without any contract whatsoever. So the offer letter, I think, came first, and that was all agreed upon. And then there was the actor's loan out agreement, which she added that language to that made them not want to agree to it. And then there was the contract rider agreement that happened as a result of the 17 points protections. Yeah. And that was agreed on. Anyway.
Continuing.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Whether an environment is sufficiently hostile or abusive can be determined only by looking at all the circumstances, including the frequency of the discriminatory conduct, its severity, whether it is physically threatening or humiliating, or a mere offensive utterance, and whether it unreasonably interferes with an employee's work performance. Courts must also consider the real social impact of workplace behavior. Often depends on a constellation of surrounding circumstances, expectations, and relationships which are not fully captured by a simple recitation of the words used or the physical acts performed. The relevant conduct must be discriminatory. A hostile work environment is not one that is bad for all living things in a manner that happens to involve characteristics of the protected class. Rather, it is one that is discriminatorily hostile to an employee based on his or her membership in the protected class.
Well, that's weird. So those don't seem to be mutually exclusive. Like, why couldn't both of those exist at the same time?
Let's see if he clears this up. In other words, Judge Lyman writes,
okay, help me
the
out.
hostile work environment must have occurred because of the plaintiff's protected characteristic. He wasn't sexually harassing men on the set the way that that she was being subjected to sexual harassment.
No, but if he was,
then things would have been different.
Why?
Because that would have been him. It would have been she would have had different claims.
Okay, but she would still have claims. I'm like, I can't mitigate my trying to harass one woman by just harassing everybody in my midst.
Yeah, you should try it though. Like maybe you'll get away with it. Have you ever
what are you talking about? I grab everybody's ass.
No, I know. Apparently I don't know if you guys remember that mass shooting spree, the DC sniper case. Apparently he went on
Yeah.
like this mass random, like he was just like setting up and like sniping random people.
It was a scary
the
time.
most. Yeah, I lived in Maryland at the time. It was like right at the DC border. I worked in DC. It was really, really freaky. Anyway,
Jesus.
he never went into DC because there's too much Secret Service. He never would have survived. So he stayed in Maryland. It was really, really bad. Anyway,
Nuts.
the whole reason why that even happened was because he wanted to murder his ex-wife and he wanted it to look random. So he murdered his ex-wife, or attempted to, and I can't remember if he did. And then he went and targeted a bunch of random people in order to cover it up.
Okay, well, there it makes sense. I mean,
So what I'm saying is, if you want to target
but
one,
it makes sense, but it's the stupidest thing ever. It's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
All right, I know how to cover up this murder. I'll make many.
it'll look totally random. It's going to throw him off
So
the
it'd be
trail.
like, oh, couldn't have
never
been the
sus-
husband.
They'll never suspect me.
She was killed by a serial killer. I mean, it worked.
So if you wanted to target one of your employees for harassment, you might do well by just harassing a bunch of different people randomly. I'm kidding, of course. That wouldn't happen. I wouldn't help, at least. Okay. Let's see. Rather, it is one that is discriminatorily hostile to an employee based on his or her membership in the protected class. That's a citation. Let's see. In other words, the hostile work environment must have occurred because of the plaintiff's protected characteristic. Lively has identified a series of acts that she claims created a hostile work environment based on her gender, beginning with her work on the film and continuing through the conclusion of the first phase of filming. Several of the incidents either would not support a hostile work environment claim or would do so at most only minimally or in context. Other incidents come closer to stating a claim. The court begins with the former before turning to the latter. When viewed together, the incidents are sufficient to support a reasonable basis for Lively's complaints, and therefore her assertion of a retaliation claim. Okay, this is interesting. Are you with me?
Well, it's never Aaron came back and he wrote in all caps, bro, your book is bizarre
It's true.
and scary great. And scary and scary and great.
Okay, but are you with me?
Isn't that nice?
It's so nice. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm distracted a little bit by that. Every time that happens, it's a really fucking
Okay, well, let me catch you up. Here's what the judge is saying.
fills me up.
And this is what people online have been doing from the beginning. Okay?
Yes.
They will take each instance of sexual harassment, and there are many,
Right.
but they will take each one and try to make it seem like that is Blake Lively's argument. And the judge is agreeing. If it was one thing here, one thing there that we were made to judge, they might be small. They might not rise to the level of a sexual harassment claim.
Individually.
However, when you look at all of them together, absolutely.
But you
this
see how
satisfies.
they just like, they don't understand. It's not even cherry picking. That's like taking out, that's not even cherry picking because he's not saying that there's any individual instance that may not rise. And maybe he will eventually, but he's not saying that. What he is saying is that it wouldn't matter if they were because of the number, potentially at least.
Here's what he says. Several of the incidents either would not support a hostile work environment claim or would do so at most only minimally or in context. Other incidents come closer to stating a claim. The court begins with the former before turning to the latter. When viewed together, the incidents are sufficient to support a reasonable basis for Lively's complaints and therefore her assertion of a retaliation claim.
Well, and you know what's so interesting about that, because he cited the text where her text, which really drilled that point, completely home, right? She was like, God, these guys, it's like a HR festival or whatever she called it, or, it's exactly what he's saying in terms of that. I just love how his actual...
I can't believe he tongued her without her...
Without being expressly agreed upon. A mother who just gave birth. Like, we're not 20 fucking two. You know what I mean? Like, when you're fucking shooting kids... Yeah, dude, you're licking the nose, you're fucking licking armpits, you're doing everything because you don't give a shit. You're sleeping on everybody's couch.
Oh, when you're
Everything's all
shooting
good.
the movie Kids?
Yes. When you're shooting the movie, when you're shooting. Thank you. Yeah.
I was like, what?
When you're shooting like
When
a
you're
movie
doing
like
what?
when you're shooting a movie like Kids, or even a Nora possibly. Well, maybe not a Nora. I haven't even seen it, so I should shut up about that. But you know what I mean? If but these are adults with children and reputations, and this is not fucking. One of the things Sharon Stone says that she regrets most about her career was first of all, she apparently didn't know that panty shot was happening. I don't know if that's real or not, but
we gonna
she regrets it nonetheless. She regrets it nonetheless.
Yeah.
And that's it. That is, when you think about that, that's a woman telling women, right? Beware.
Yeah.
There's a future beyond that moment. And we already heard Blake Lively express that she didn't want to be in an R-rated style movie because she's a mother. She has kids. She doesn't want her kids seeing it
That
at
film,
any point in their life.
that Sharon Stone issue, right? That she's got.
Yeah.
That was definitely in its time, right? If that movie came out today, it wouldn't have been as crazy. I mean,
It's not about that. It's
Everybody's
about
doing-
how she feels about it.
everybody's doing full
It doesn't.
frontal.
It doesn't even fucking matter. But that's
Yeah.
not the point, right? That's not her point either.
No, I know.
And it's about prerogative.
It's not her point. It's my point.
Well, I understand, and yes, but that's still optional, isn't it? Right? It's an option to do. It's not something and she opted out. I would opt out. Well, it depends actually. If I was like out in the woods or something, yeah, I'd show it all. But if it's like in my apartment or like doing something, no.
You would do full frontal out in the woods, but not in your apartment.
Yeah, like if I was like, you know what I mean? Like,
What does that mean? Why?
I don't know. Like there would probably be a reason.
You're naked
for it.
in your apartment all the time. What are you talking about?
Well, I know, but I wouldn't like put it when nobody wants to see it anyway, so we don't have to have this debate. Well, that's not even true. Like okay, well, if I was doing a guest spot,
I know one person who wants to see it.
if I was doing a guest spot, if I was doing a guest spot on the pit,
Did I make you blush?
yeah. If I was doing a guest spot on the pit,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and they're going, oh, he severed his penis. Here's the one half, like they did the leg.
But they wouldn't use your actual penis. That would still be a prosthetic. They wouldn't sever your actual penis.
Different idea. Anyway, they just have to rip off all my clothes on the or maybe I'm playing a homeless person. It's Little Bum, the sequel. And
This is not how Dale would be in a writer's room, by the way.
they scoop me
He
up.
would be way better than this.
No, give me a whiteboard. And they scoop me up
Yeah.
and they they put me in they scoop me up naked. I'm already naked under a bridge.
Do you want to hear what the judge
Yeah,
said?
let's hear it.
Anybody who tuned in for actual reading of the judge's ruling is so pissed right now. Okay.
Let me just really quick answer. It's never Aaron. He did scream he wanted Don's Plum to burn, not just to me. A lot of that whole sequence, as you know, was between me and Toby, and so that's a he said she said situation. And obviously I stand by my words. I put them in print, but he screamed that in front of me and RD, and that's in both of our testimony, isn't it? Isn't it in RD's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Judge Lyman says, when Lively first met with Baldoni in December of 2022 to discuss possibly participating in the film, Baldoni told Lively, who was pregnant with her first boy at the time, that he was circumcised.
Oh my
If
God.
you can believe it.
Yeah.
If you can at all believe that could possibly
I can't
happen.
believe it. I'll never be able to.
Lively found the disclosure uncomfortable and unnecessary.
This is where I'm at, and this is the conversation I was trying to have with this totally unreasonable Baldoni fan, because I'm just like, come on, dude. He made it about his penis. That's the line that got crossed.
They're not having a conversation about circumcision.
No.
He's telling her about his own
experience with it.
about his own penis.
That's right.
That's what's happening.
He can only be.
He could have had the same discussion, speaking more broadly and not personally.
And I don't give a shit, even if he actually in his conscious mind believes that he was just trying to have a conversation that was totally open and blah, blah. I believe that at this man's core, he wanted her to somehow have some kind of visual relationship, some kind of relationship in general with his genitals in that moment. That's what I believe. It's the same thing I believe about him putting his friend's face between her legs on the set.
Right.
That's jock shit. That's like fucking, come on, bro.
Okay, let me continue.
All right, I'm getting mad.
Lively found the disclosure uncomfortable and unnecessary, but it occurred in the context of a discussion about the different medical decisions people make these days. This is a quote. The different medical decisions people make these days, including circumcision for male babies. That's from Baldoni. A topic that Lively herself may have introduced. More importantly, it occurred before she began working on the film. It therefore could not have created a hostile work environment. Work is emphasized.
I do agree with this.
I completely disagree. That was a work meeting. That was very clearly a work meeting. That was not a social, whatever. Come over to my house and we'll hang out and talk about baby foreskin.
You're calling it a work meeting, and I'm saying that she invited him over and he came over, and it was more like hey, let's get to know each other. This isn't so. While it's work related in that sense, I'm actually agreeing with Lyman on this. I still think what he did was awful, and I still think it.
He's narrowing it to, was she contracted to work? Was she employed at this time?
Yeah, there
on
was
this
no
project?
requirement.
And so, but it clearly was a work meeting. That was the only reason why they would have had that meeting in the first place. Was about work.
Well, this is where I'm giving you like it's at 7 hours and 6 minutes that somebody on the jury just wants more sandwiches.
Okay, continuing.
Yeah.
Any incidents giving rise to the hostile work environment claim must have occurred during the plaintiff's employment. That's a citation from another lawsuit. So he is just being very narrow about, did it occur within the timeline of her employment? Okay. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm just helping
I don't
Aaron.
want to read this to myself.
You're reading. There's 28 people here. It's a record.
I'm here for your commentary.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yes, you can ask about Don's Plum. He's just, he's like, is this a live about Don's Plum? It's definitely a live about Don's Plum, absolutely. And you can ask about it. The only thing I'm going to have to ask you for is patience, because
You're gonna have to
if it was
edit.
only about that, we couldn't possibly be on show 200 and whatever we're on. So we also talk about things like Baldoni and other shit. You know what I'm saying? So yes, just be cool with me, and I will gladly answer your question.
But are you going to save it to the end, or are you going to interrupt the ruling reading?
I'll try to fit it in, with class. Please continue.
Other conduct, particularly viewed in isolation, also would not give rise to a claim for hostile work environment. Prior to principal filming, Baldoni proposed certain edits to the screenplay, including ones related to sex that Lively believed were gratuitous. That Baldoni suggested scenes involving sexual acts in the context of developing a motion picture involving such adult themes did not create a sexually objective environment. A sexually objectionable environment.
Can you read that again? Because I'm not. Just start that over again.
This is what the Baldoni fans have been saying.
Yeah.
And so they're probably very pleased that the judge thinks this also, but I disagree.
Okay.
That Baldoni suggested scenes involving sexual acts in the context of developing a motion picture involving such adult themes did not create a sexually objectionable environment or an environment hostile to women or to men because of sex. It would be neither surprising nor unreasonable from a creative standpoint for Baldoni and Lively to have drafted sexually explicit material, even if some of it was not to the taste of the other.
Yeah, well, I do agree with them.
Yeah, except that's not the whole story.
Well, it is because
the whole story is that he added gratuitous sex scenes that she did not approve of, and she had a contractual agreement that she would approve of all of these scenes before they were going to be filmed, and he described the scenes as things that he had done with his own wife that he wanted to cast Lively to recreate in his film.
Well, that should be separate, because that should be a different claim. That's not the same as what he's talking about. You're talking about something different.
If the judge doesn't mention it, then he doesn't get what was offensive about those.
I agree. If he doesn't mention that, that's an offense. What he's talking about is that it's not unreasonable, even if it's objectionable. So
it's not like just because you have a movie with sexual themes that fucking anything goes. You know what I mean?
Of course not. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have the creative, freedom and wherewithal.
But she also has approval rights.
But she didn't star in anything she didn't want to.
Yeah,
the issue that she took up, which is not her issue, especially now, is the Isabella Ferrar. It was that really disturbed her, because she's like, you're having this virgin, this virgin, this whatever, this divergent, what do you call it? Deflowering moment.
You don't. You just call it teen sex.
Well, but around her virginity, right? Which is important. It's not just teen sex. That's one thing, but it's sexualizing this virginity is just another fucking creepy ass thing to do. That's not in the book. So she wanted to take issue with that and say that in preponderance with the rest shows behavior. But I agree with the judge on this, that as it was, the guy has no taste. It's not just that he has no taste. That was inappropriate, but not, I think, subject to sexual harassment, personally. I think it just showed his colors, and that's not, he's creepy. It's true, but that's just being creepy.
Indeed, Ange Giannetti had written to Baldoni that Sony was going to try to get as much tasteful hot sex as you can. As the court observed in McSweeney, that's another case, in context, actors in a play containing sexist dialogue would reasonably understand that dialogue to be a part of a performance. In other words, part of the constellation of surrounding circumstances, expectations, and relationships surrounding the play, rather than an expression of hostility or animus toward their gender. An individual actor in that play might find the experience of performance subjectively painful. But without more, she would not have a claim for a hostile work environment because even if the use of sexist language happens to involve sex, even if the use of sexist dialogue happens to involve sex, it is not discriminatorily hostile to an employee based on his or her sex. And that seems relevant, right? It's not, she did, but Blake Lively never had a problem with sex scenes at all. She had a problem with him adding sex scenes, and his explanation for adding the sex scenes was incredibly uncomfortable and fucking weird.
Yeah, no, consistent with
way too personal.
This person that she didn't expect.
Right.
She expected a totally different dude, and she certainly expected that any kind of pushback on something like that would be welcome, to the extent at least that it's discussed without butthurt feelings and animosity.
So he says, Judge Lyman says a similar principle applies here with respect to the creation of the screenplay. Lively's complaints of fat shaming could also not reasonably support a claim. Shortly before work on the film began, Lively gave birth to a child. She expressed to Baldoni that she wanted to be in her best shape for filming. On or around April 23rd, 2023, so just weeks before they started filming, before principal photography began, Baldoni asked a personal trainer he had consulted with and who was working separately with Lively if the trainer knew what Lively would weigh when filming began. Baldoni's question then found its way back to Lively, who felt disturbed and unsettled that Baldoni was soliciting information about her weight. On another occasion, Baldoni introduced Lively to a specialist in probiotics, who Lively subsequently discovered also specialized in weight loss. Evidence that an employer made weight-related comments to a persons of only one gender could, in certain circumstances, help demonstrate a hostile work environment based on sex. Although the record here does not indicate whether any similar conduct was directed towards men, regardless, the conduct cannot reasonably be viewed as expressing hostility to Lively as a woman or to women in general. The physical experience of the protagonist was part of the... I'm not reading very well today. Forgive me. The physical appearance of the protagonist was part of the product that the producers were intending to offer the audience. Lively herself recognized that achieving a certain aesthetic was part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. That's a quote. She asked Baldoni if they could do the body scenes at the end of the schedule so that she would have sufficient time to work out. She wrote to her agent privately that she was working out twice a day, 4 hours a day in order to lose the weight and set the movie up for success. As the sexiest, as the, in quotes, sexiness in this film and the marketing, I'm sure, is critical to its success. And she told Baldoni, in quotes, my husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events, and this is one of them, and that's great. Given these statements, Baldoni's actions, even if they could be viewed as gently pushing Lively to lose weight, which is not necessarily supported by the evidence, could not fairly be described as discrimination because of Lively's gender. Lively also points to certain conduct that occurred during filming. Early in the production phase, Lively and Baldoni filmed a scene in which their characters danced together. The script stated that their characters would be slow dancing, in quotes, completely in their own world, but did not otherwise include details about how the scene would be shot or how the characters would be interacting. The script did not specifically call for any kissing or simulated intimacy, yet Lively claims that during filming, Baldoni leaned in and gestured as if he was intending to kiss her, and that he kissed her forehead, rubbed his face and mouth against her neck, put his thumb into her mouth, and flicked her lower lip, caressed her, and leaned into her neck, saying, "It smells good."
Didn't even mention the horny growl.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something. That was a real thing.
The record includes videos of this scene. The scene was shot in front of a large group of people. Baldoni can be heard giving blocking instructions. Both actors can be shown improvising. Other actors are in the background. There is no question that this conduct might support a hostile work environment claim if it occurred on a factory floor or in the executive suite. But in all sexual harassment cases, the court must carefully consider the social context in which particular behavior occurs and is experienced by its target. And the question is whether in this context, Baldoni's conduct could reasonably be understood to reflect a view about Lively as a woman rather than the role she was asked to play. Under this framing, it would be difficult to view Baldoni's conduct as reflecting hostility or bias based on gender. He was acting in the scene. Assuming he was improvising, the conduct was not so far beyond what might reasonably be expected to take place between two characters during a slow dancing scene, such that an inference of hostile treatment on the basis of sex would arise. At least in isolation, the conduct was directed to Lively's character rather than to Lively itself. Can you believe this? Creative artists, no less than comedy room writers, must have some amount of space to experiment within the bounds of an agreed script without fear of being held liable for sexual harassment. I can't believe that he doesn't get the problem. She doesn't have a problem with them slow dancing in character, like the script says. She has a problem with him trying to force kisses on her without telling her as the director of the film. The director of the film did not tell his scene partner that she was going to be kissed on the face and mouth. And he attempted to do it repeatedly anyway without directing her or telling her what he was going to do. And Judge Lyman doesn't seem to think that that's important or necessary.
I agree with you 100%. There's no way that should be allowed. There's no way that the script can be ambiguous as it relates to intimacy without every party in the scene consenting to it.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that they haven't pulled up shit like Malcolm McDowell, because it doesn't even have to be in the actual filming. Like Malcolm McDowell was not told that there was going to be hardcore porn in Caligula, right?
Oh yeah.
And so he shot his scenes and did his scenes, and Peter O'Toole, bro, like we're talking about the best actors of their time, and then all of a sudden they go to see the movie, and there's like porn, straight up full penetration porn.
Did they sue them?
Well, they were vocal. I don't know if there were lawsuits. I haven't looked that deeply into it, but I know that there was a great deal of mistrust in that situation. So, and whether or not that happens live, meaning while you're shooting, or you do it in post, it wouldn't fucking matter. And this is a bad precedent to try and set here.
It's real bad. He says creative artists must have some amount of space to experiment within the bounds of an agreed script. See? It's not within the bounds of an agreed script.
It's not in the bounds of
without fear of being held liable for sexual harassment.
Come on.
That's not anything like what happened.
That is nothing what happened. That is nothing like what happened. This is such a bad ruling by him. This is a really bad ruling. It should be challenged. That's bad.
Mm-hmm. That's not her allegation at all.
Because that can be tested to such a level.
Yeah.
Like you can test the fuck out of something like that.
I agree with you.
That's not good.
Although these incidents could not on their own sustain a hostile work environment claim, sexual harassment claims must be viewed based on the totality of the circumstances. And there is other conduct by defendants that present a closer question. A reasonable jury could conclude that Baldoni commented on Lively's and Slate's personal physical appearances rather than their appearances as actors or characters in ways that made them uncomfortable. Comments of these types can help contribute to a hostile work environment. He's citing a lawsuit that says, similar to physical acts of harassment, unwanted comments about an employee's attractiveness and appearance have an exclusionary effect in the workplace and constitute unequal treatment.
I wonder if Doug Lyman ever talks to his brother. I mean, I wonder if Louis Lyman, Judge Lyman, ever talks to Doug Lyman and be like, yo, like, because I could understand a director trying to protect themselves in that situation. Of course, there was a time. I mean, think about Lars von Trier. Like, there was a time when
then you better put it in the
directors
fucking
would
script.
Spring shit on people.
Here's the thing: you better put it in the script. Then, if you want to be protected, don't ask your fucking judge brother to do it. Just put it in your script.
We sent a streaker in Don's Plum, without anyone knowing. The whole point was to not let them know.
Right.
So we sent the guy full frontal, run right past everybody, and they had no idea it was going to happen.
Must have had a blast.
I was so excited. That was like
prank time.
I was so excited.
Okay.
But the thing is that event never actually was toward anybody. It didn't involve intimacy between anybody. So, that's,
You created a hostile work environment for everybody equally, is what you're saying.
Toby took his penis out on set. That was just on set, like while he was getting a photograph. Much worse than anything.
And then he sent a couple goons to go retrieve the photo.
That's we allege.
Okay, during the first phase of shooting, Baldoni asked Lively to remove her jacket. And when she did so, revealed a partially unzipped onesie at the time and a lace bra underneath. Baldoni stated "pretty hot" in a tone that made Lively feel on display and uncomfortable. Lively responded that that was not what she was going for, and Baldoni replied, "Sexy?" To which she stated, "Neither. I guess that's the quote.
Yeah, whatever. So
the comment was understood contemporaneously to be inappropriate. Jenny Slate told Baldoni that comments about actors' bodies and their wardrobes ranged from irrelevant to unnecessary to inappropriate and distracting, and we're just not doing this anymore. Baldoni rolled his eyes and stated, "Sorry, I missed the sexual harassment training," before walking away.
can you fucking believe that? That guy's running the set.
Also that day, Lively was wearing a jacket over a dress with a lower cut neckline, not in wardrobe. And when she bent down to pick something up, her jacket fell open, revealing her dress and cleavage. And Baldoni said, "I like your outfit," while making a back and forth gesture across his chest area, which Lively interpreted as referring to her chest. Although Lively had referred to her own wardrobe as sexy on certain occasions, that did not open the door to all manner of comments on her appearance. Baldoni also told Slate, who played his character's sister, was not involved in any sexual content in the film and was wearing black leather pants at the time, "I can say this because my wife is here, but you look sexy in what you're wearing."
It's inappropriate, and calling an object sexy does not fucking meet the same. Couldn't ever meet the same standard. If Justin Baldoni said an object was sexy and somebody complained about it on set, I would be arguing for him. It's like that. She said these shoes are sexy, or a piece of wardrobe, any piece of wardrobe is sexy. It not only doesn't open the door, it doesn't constitute any consideration toward anything remotely sexualized or inappropriate. It's impossible.
I saw the clip of the BTS.
The word sexy itself is not an offensive word. It's how it's used.
Yep. I saw the BTS clip of when she's referring to her shoes, and she's literally seated on the ground, pointing at her shoes and talking to somebody. And she was like, "Yeah, I like these. These are sexy," or she says something like that. And she's literally talking about the shoes.
Come on.
Shoes.
People. That's
Not
her tits.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
"I can say this because my wife is here, but you look sexy in what you're wearing." I feel like that's kind of misstated. It's a quote, so I guess it's not, but we heard so many different versions of these stories, it's kind of hard to tell them apart. Okay, continuing. Judge Lyman says, "Then there is the intrusion into Lively's physical privacy. On the second day of filming, Heath arrived at Lively's trailer while she was almost entirely undressed and having her body makeup removed. Lively agreed to meet with him because she had concerns that she wanted to share with him, but she made him promise to turn away from her and face the wall, which he agreed to do. At some point during the discussion, Lively realized that Heath had turned away from the wall to face her and was staring at her exposed body through a mirror." See, that's different than the story.
I don't care. It's still a massive same thing.
Lively confronted Heath in the moment, and he admitted looking at her saying, Oh, sorry. I like to make eye contact with people when I talk to them. Except for times where you're asked explicitly not to. Unbelievable. Let's see. The Second Circuit has recognized that stares at a woman's body can provide evidence of a hostile work environment. And here, Lively was in a state of undress and specifically asked Heath not to look at her. In another incident, Baldoni and Heath pushed for Lively to perform a birth scene naked, even though her character was in a hospital. They had not previously discussed blocking the scene in this way. She had not anticipated.
So now it counts.
She had not anticipated or agreed to be so exposed in the scene, and the offer letter provided that there would be no nudity, simulated sex without artist's prior written consent and negotiation or execution of a nudity rider. Lively felt forced to compromise by performing simulated nudity from below the waist down, with her uncovered legs spread apart wide in stirrups and only a small thin piece of black fabric covering her genitals.
Hang on one sec. Specialist is saying, so the judge is just completely skipping over that Lively and multiple other women shouted at him not to enter the trailer. I think the judge is on Lively's side on this one.
Yes, but he did not include that.
He didn't include that.
He did not include
but I don't think he needed to because...
He's skipping it over, yes.
Well, just because the facts are what matter here, not that people, can corroborate the facts. That's what the trial is for. So, these are the facts that are in the case or that are submitted as evidence. So he knows that Jamie Heath entered the trailer. He knows, yes, it's certainly material that he entered the trailer despite being asked not to, being shouted at, saying no, and they argue back and forth about whether he should have or he shouldn't have. The real problem happened when because I think the reason why he might be actually seeing past that is because they made an agreement for him to be in the trailer where he could turn away from her and speak.
Oh, I missed this footnote. This is about, I'm sorry, this comes in. He admitted to, Jamie Heath in her trailer admitted to looking at her saying, oh, sorry, I like to make eye contact with people when I talk to them. And I missed that this footnote is included. Although Lively subsequently told Heath that she knew he was not trying to cop a look, one could reasonably understand that comment as an attempt to diffuse tensions with a producer on the film, rather than as a true reflection of Lively's understanding of the encounter. That's important because a lot of people were saying like, oh no, she forgave him, so it shouldn't have been a big deal and she shouldn't have sued about it.
Yeah, no, he's being reasonable there.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Back to this present paragraph. Okay. In another incident, Baldoni and Heath pushed for Lively to perform a birth scene naked, even though her character was in a hospital. They had not previously discussed blocking the scene in this way. She had not anticipated nor agreed to be so exposed in the scene, and the offer letter provided that there would be no nudity or simulated sex without artist's prior written consent and a negotiated and executed an execution of a nudity writer. Lively felt I need to continue. Lively felt forced to compromise by performing simulated nudity from below the chest down with her uncovered legs spread apart wide in stirrups and only a small thin piece of black fabric covering her genitals. For the entirety of filming the scene, which took several hours, the set was not closed to non-essential personnel.
Sweet.
Lively has submitted some evidence that industry standards would call for an intimacy coordinator to be present because there was implied nudity and a high hip exposure that constitutes profile nudity, but no such person was present.
Oh boy.
What did you want to say?
A scientist said that he skipped over the coercion for him to stay. You know, how he coerced her into staying, you know?
Oh, yeah. Skipped over that too.
Well, but again, like, I think that's not material to his decision. I think it's not material to his decision. It's just that would come out in trial. Like that would come, that, you know, a jury's going to hear that. So he's not skipping it over, over it and as a means to discredit it or to make light of it. I think he's skipping over it because it's not material to his opinion.
He was trying to leverage work rules about her turnover time in order to obtain access to her in her nude state. It's just absolutely inappropriate.
Yeah,
that definitely factors into
no
me.
doubt.
At another point during work on the screenplay and in discussing a sex scene in the film, Baldoni offered that he and his wife orgasm at the same time. And he asked if Lively and her husband do the same. So that is different. I didn't know if he was going to mention this, but he is mentioning it separately as one of the, like, definitely meets the bar of.
Yeah, can you repeat it for me? Because I got lost in my own thoughts here.
At another point during work on the screenplay and in discussing a sex scene in the film, Baldoni offered that he and his wife orgasm at the same time, and he asked if Lively and her husband do the same.
That's so fucked up. And you know, he doesn't want to recognize because it doesn't, but it's the same kind of coercion.
You're trying to do locker room talk with your fucking co-star?
It's not just that locker room talk, man. I'm telling you, cheaters do this shit. Now, obviously, you're not going to bring this in, but this is what they do. They try to fucking get this intimate information as a way to try and entice. I stand by my.
Well, I'm not going to say that this is what he's doing, but predators do that too. Where it's part of the grooming, where they try and see how far you're going to go into their like realm of discomfort. Yeah. How far they can draw you away from what you're normally.
I think we're saying the same
with.
thing. You know, it's this idea that he might be able to coerce her into some kind of sexual engagement with her.
What the fuck?
And listen, that's just totally speculation on my part. There's no evidence of that, and no one's even accused Justin Baldoni.
No, it's true. But like, what's the good fucking reason for the way he's behaving?
Exactly, like everything to me points to like it's like this frat brother bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if I could get into her pants kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
that's the vibe.
Up to, bro?
Obviously, he can't, you know, as a judge, bring the vibe in. But you know, and this is a part of what I think, you know, he's trying to weed through is the things that are the vibe, right? Where she's like, yo, this behavior, you know, was the, you know, the foundation behind, you know, future behavior that, you know. You know, an escalation, right?
Yeah.
You know, the heat just keeps going up with this guy.
At another point, I already read that part. Also, during the writing process, after Lively commented that she believed some scenes had become somewhat pornographic, Baldoni volunteered in the course of claiming that the scenes were not pornographic, that he had been previously addicted to pornography.
Yeah, shut your mouth.
Lively stated that she had never seen pornography, and Baldoni later announced to individuals on set that Lively had never seen pornography. It may be fair grounds for an author or a director to discuss personal experiences, including those related to sex, as part of the creative process, and the mere mention of sexual content or topics in the workplace does not necessarily support a hostile work environment claim, but Baldoni's on-set comment to crew members regarding whether Lively watched pornography bore no apparent connection to the creative process and singled Lively out in front, let me see,
of the crew, obviously, and other
did I
cast
screw this
members.
up?
But listen, man, that's so weird because that's like a judge giving instructions on how to get away with it.
Okay. And singled Lively out in front of others in a way that could be interpreted as related to sex and based on gender.
But it is similar to, like, for example, you're getting examined. You're a woman being examined by a male gynecologist, right? So, and he's doing a breast exam. You know what I mean? So there's a way in which that's done professionally, right?
Oh, yeah, in the context of what's going on.
Right, in the context of what's going on. But he'll talk about your breasts, so on and so forth.
That is a very, very different example.
Well, it's not because if he turns, no, it's not because there are bounds there. So
there's
listen,
also consent,
hear me
prior
out.
consent given.
Yeah, but hear me out. Well, there is on a set too. I mean, I had conversations with Jenny about taking her clothes off.
Yes. Okay. Now we're on to something comparable.
Well, no, it is comparable because if a
comparable,
gynecologist suddenly started sexualizing that moment, then that would constitute
if he was like, you smell so
crossing
good
of the boundary, right? Or these are firm, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or like, give him a little undertow, or you know what I mean? Like he whatever, that this person suddenly crosses boundaries that are at least if not explicitly expressed, presumed to be there. And there are boundaries that there should be a presumption of boundary between a director and an actor when they're dealing with sexual activity. Like a good director would be like, are you okay? Are you comfortable right now with this conversation? If you're uncomfortable at any time, please let me know and we'll change the way we approach the conversation to make you comfortable, because I want to make sure you understand what we're going for in this scene, because it's something that's very professional. And anyway, I just think that there's interesting stuff going on there that, where there's like a gray area that is both difficult for judges, jurors, and this is a part of what we're talking about when I think we say things like this might have been a blessing in disguise, because this gray area could poke so many holes in what the judge allows the jury to hear that it even makes those moments less impactful.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Citing another lawsuit, the mere presence of pornography in a workplace can alter the status of women therein and is relevant to assessing the objective hostility of the environment. That's interesting.
I'm not sure I understood it.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking in a mixed group, right, men and women, and all the men are having discussions about porn,
right,
then it can alter the status of the women in the conversation.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Can you sit down, please? Okay.
So basically, it puts them into a place of being sexualized.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are other instances of alleged inappropriate behavior, including one in
it's
which
so fucking high school to do that shit.
just
too.
stop.
That's
Don't talk about your fucking.
Up,
Don't talk about porn in the
like
workplace.
Before high school, you like try to fucking bring up conversations to
No, I know.
get girls to talk about it, so doors get opened.
He came from a really religious background. I know this from reading his memoir, but he came from a really religious background, and so of course, like it's now that he's an adult and he's like able to fly free. Now he's like, hey guys, you want to watch some porn? You guys ever watched porn before? Because he never got to do that when he was a kid.
Yeah.
He never got it out of his system. I don't know. Maybe that's the explanation. Who knows? Maybe he's just a creep. Okay, Judge Lyman says, there are other instances of alleged inappropriate behavior, including one in which Heath showed Lively a video of his wife giving birth, but it suffices for present purposes to conclude that drawing all inferences in Lively's favor, a person in her position could have understood the workplace to, at times, reflect a gendered and sexualized view of women and a disregard for their privacy sufficient to make it reasonable to complain about a hostile work environment based on sex or gender. That conclusion finds additional support in the fact that Lively alluded to many of these incidents in the protection letter, and the Wayfair parties wrote that, in quotes, Although their perspectives differed in many aspects, they found most of her requests not only reasonable, but also essential for the benefit of all parties involved. Okay?
That's huge.
The court need not consider whether the acts as alleged would support a jury verdict that the Wayfair parties created a hostile work environment under FEHA. It is sufficient that it was reasonable for Lively to believe that they did. A citation noting that even a plaintiff's belief regarding sexual harassment are legally mistaken. Even if a plaintiff's beliefs regarding sexual harassment are legally mistaken under FEHA, a retaliation claim might be sustained where the nature of the complaint reasonably falls within the statute's general purview.
Otherwise, you can just fucking beat up on people. Like, it's, of course.
I feel like that's quotable too. That's page 116.
That's definitely quotable.
At near the top.
That's quotable, people. Go get out there and quote.
Okay, the next one. Notice. I don't know what that subheading is about.
Notice.
He says, finally, a jury could also find that the Wayfair parties understood that Lively thought that they had behaved in a discriminatory manner. Baldoni stated with respect to the protections letter.
Yeah, I was about to say he did. Go ahead.
Baldoni stated with respect to the protections letter, of course, we all know what this document insinuates, that I am unsafe / sexually harassing, etc., etc., etc. Fucking bonehead. After the all hands meeting he shared with friends, in quotes, oh my God. He, in quotes, let me get this where it's not separated by screenshots. Okay. After the all hands meeting, Baldoni shared with friends, they essentially said that Jamie and I are not who we claim to be, and that for us to have a podcast is unsafe because it makes people feel like we are safe. The word creepy and abuse were used in reference to me and my behavior. End quote. When Slate called Baldoni out on set for remarking on Lively's appearance, he stated, in quotes, sorry, I missed the sexual harassment training. And Heath feared that Lively would file sexual harassment claims against him. The Wayfair parties accordingly knew that at least some of Lively's complaints went to instances of alleged gender discrimination rather than merely unfair personnel treatment. There is enough evidence to bring the issue of Lively's protected activity before a jury.
Come on, dude. You're not reading that shit. Just because he didn't like that, because he I think erroneously sided with them on the slow dance scene. Doesn't mean that these guys that she didn't have any credible claims. I mean, obviously, but I just, these people, they just fucking hear what they want to hear and they go do it. Like, I'm not going to walk away from this saying the judge believed that the slow dance was inappropriate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to go away knowing that, exactly what the fucking judge said.
Adverse employment action. There are also triable issues with respect to whether the Wayfair parties took any adverse employment action against Lively.
Oh, shit.
The main way in which Lively believes the Wayfair parties retaliated against her is by concocting and executing a multi-tiered social manipulation plan to destroy her reputation. That allegation presents the crux of her case. So the court outlines it here.
The crux of her case.
So
he said it.
Yep. So the court outlines it here in some detail.
So the judge is ruling in favor of the crux of her case.
Here's a footnote.
Amazing. I can't believe that he used that language.
Yep. Okay. Here's a footnote. Several of the other alleged adverse employment.
But yet Variety. I'm sorry. But yet Variety's headline is Lively's fucking lawsuit gutted. And the reason is because people don't understand. It's like if you sit down and you're going to have your meal, judged and the stuff you shouldn't be thrown off the plate. If the centerpiece, the star of the plate is still there, it's not the majority of the shit gone, even if there were 4 other things taken off your plate and only one thing remains. But it makes sense, right? If you took my peas, you take my potatoes.
Let's go to Dale Wheatley. He's our expert on plates.
And you take my roll, and you take my roll away from my dinner, but you leave the steak. He left the steak.
And some cornbread. Okay. The footnote I was trying to say. Several of other alleged adverse employment actions are too minor or trivial to qualify under FEHA. These include Baldoni's alleged huffy and dismissive responses to being called out on set, and Baldoni and Heath's remark to Hoover that Lively was exhibiting narcissistic behavior. There is no indication that these actions were reasonably likely to adversely and materially affect Lively's job performance or her opportunities for advancement in her career, which is how it would apply to the FEHA law.
Ah.
Okay? That's interesting. Obviously, that was wrongdoing, but does it apply to that law? And he says no.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I mean, I
that makes
can't argue with him on that because I have no brain.
Factual background. In May 2024, after Reynolds blocked Baldoni on social media, Baldoni worried that Lively might do the same to, in quotes, plant seeds and, quote, give crumbs, so that, in quote, fans would go digging. He therefore asked his publicist, Jennifer Abel, to formulate a real plan in case that happened so that he could feel at ease. Baldoni's concerns continued to escalate after other cast members appeared at a June 15th, 2024 book bonanza without him. Okay. The reason they were without him was because he was in the hospital.
Fucking Cinderella.
He was in the hospital.
Yeah.
He literally could not attend because he was hospitalized. So it's not like...
Yeah,
There's a reason.
It wasn't alienation, even if it was.
They didn't leave him out.
They were happy. They were like, look, I don't want the guy to die, but I'm glad he's got something else to do.
Okay, 2 days later, Baldoni and Abel had an hour-long call in which he asked for recommendations for attorneys. Heath also asked Mitz Toskovich, Wayfair's vice president of operations, to start compiling a timeline document regarding all of the alleged incidents. In July 2024, Lively informed Sony that she would not appear in press with Baldoni. Tara Hanks, the president of Wayfair, asked Wayfair publicist Stephanie Jones for recommendations for a crisis communications team. Jennifer Abel also asked Jamie Heath to share with her the legal letter that was sent by Lively and her team. Per our conversation, we will go through point by point and draft context surrounding each situation. We can then flag what we're missing that would be helpful to arm us in the case that we need to refute any of the claims. Jennifer Abel recommended Melissa Nathan and her firm TAG for the crisis communications role. On July 25th, 2024, Nathan and TAG Vice President Catherine Case met with Heath and Hanks for an introductory call, during which Wayfair provided details regarding the protections letter and the incidents alluded to in it. Let me see. Case's notes from the meeting state that Wayfair was not going to fire offensive bullets, but wanted to have a strategy. After the call, Wayfair engaged TAG to ensure that they were protected against negative attacks. On July 31st, 2024, Abel texted Heath and Toskovich that, confidentially, she was out to dinner with a friend of 12 plus years who writes for People Magazine, Fox News, In Touch, Us Weekly, and she is fully briefed of the situation and is armed and ready to take this story of Blake weaponizing feminism to any of her outlets the minute we give her the green light.
Oh my God.
She hates Blake, has heard this story before, and will do anything for us.
Oh my God.
Just FYI, smiley face.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It's just shocking.
I know. On August 1st...
It's like fucking people hate people. What do you mean you hate Blake? What do you
the fuck
fucking
would
mean
you
you
hate
hate Blake? I fucking hate that. I will fucking skewer her. I fucking hate... What is wrong with people?
Why don't you have a life?
Like, I don't even hate Justin Baldoni. I think he's the biggest fool ever. I think he fumbled the biggest fucking opportunity, in Hollywood history, or biggest fumble of an amazing
But you don't
opportunity.
hate him.
No, I don't fucking hate him. I don't have any feelings for him at all.
I know.
I'm entirely indifferent to
I know,
that
it's
guy.
so weird when
I don't
people talk
give
like
a
this.
shit about fucking Justin Baldoni, but I think he's a fool, and they're not the same.
Maybe you have to be the sort of person who hates someone you don't even know in order to do this kind of work.
I just don't understand it. Like, I can barely hate Toby. I do, but it's barely, It's a weird thing to admit.
She hates Blake, has heard this story before, and will do anything for us, just FYI. On August 1st, 2024, TAG discussed drafting a scenario document in anticipation of an inevitable story from Lively's team in order to desensationalize Lively's story by teeing up a friendly to run the day of or right after the premiere, someone who is covering the overall of the film. Covering the overall film of Baldoni, saying something along the lines of, me and Blake had our differences, but I still respect her. So we at least set the stage and can then give the rest on background to reporters. So when the hit pieces run, it's not as big of a shock. Now, this is interesting. So this quote from TAG, drafting a scenario document in anticipation of an inevitable story from Lively's team. That was the biggest problem of this whole thing. They convinced themselves and Baldoni that they had to prepare for some sort of incoming attack that was
Yeah,
inevitable.
that there was this offense against them.
And it never came.
Well, because the thing about it is, and I've said this before, and I'll gladly say it again. In Hollywood, man, they click out. They go into their separate ways, and all of a sudden there's these. And like I said, man, all Justin Baldoni needed to do was just shut up and sit there, and then tell everybody she's fucking crazy. Just do that shit, you know, just behind the scenes. She's crazy.
That's what everybody
that
else
chick
does.
is crazy. That's exactly what everybody else does. If he'd have played that, he would have had all the fucking, you know, misogynists and sympathizers of Hollywood hovering all around him, feeding on them big teats, you know, coming from Steve Sarowitz, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And
Katie,
he would have been fine because distributors would have been in on the money too. The money was so powerful. That's how, you know how fucked up you got to be to like, you got to like, you know, you have to be bad like Kanye. You know what I mean? You got to be bad like Kanye in the eyes of the industry for them to turn their eyes away from the kind of money that Sarowitz brought to the table.
Should I continue?
Please.
Katie Case sent Wayfair and Baldoni a scenario planning document the next day. In it, Tag recommended certain messaging points emphasizing both Baldoni's stellar reputation. The guy who's been sued 4 times.
Well, here's what's crazy about it is that everybody's
Stellar
saying,
reputation?
yeah, so how can you say that it was her bad reputation that destroyed her when you yourself hired her on her good reputation?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry. Forgive me. In it,
Who'd
Tag,
you ask, her mom?
In it, Tag
Or maybe her dad?
Are you done?
Did you get it?
Yes.
Her dad, because he's dead? He talks to him?
Yes. In it, Tag recommended certain messaging points emphasizing both Baldoni's stellar reputation, including his history of activism and advocacy of and for women in Hollywood, and Lively's less than favorable reputation in the industry. When they hired Blake Lively, they literally said the opposite about her. They were so thrilled because she had such a great, he called it sterling reputation in the industry.
Yeah. Well, you heard what WME said after the judge's dismissal of the sexual harassment claims. And I mean, they fucking, it was an outpouring of support.
Yeah, of course. The document also suggested that Tag explore planting stories about the weaponization of feminism and how people in Lively's circle, like Taylor Swift, have been accused of utilizing these tactics to bully into getting what they want. Has anybody ever been able to identify and define what feminism can be weaponized to, with, how?
Well, Cosmic Urgency called us out for this, if you recall. And I think there are ways to weaponize feminism, I suppose.
How do you weaponize feminism?
Well, you know, you like,
What is the-
so using the principles around, that govern feminism against men who are not offending.
Who are not offending.
Yeah.
But it's only if they offend that they would be offended.
No, that's precisely what I believe they're referring to. Like, so for example,
what you're talking about is weaponizing the judicial system.
I touch your shoulder, right? We're
No,
working
you're
together.
talking about weaponizing the judicial system, not feminism.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying
I think that these people don't understand what feminism is if you think it can be weaponized. It's like saying
I
you
looked
could
it up
weaponize
online and I got a pretty good answer.
about weaponizing feminism.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand.
I don't know if I remember it exactly, but
They're talking about weaponizing the judicial system.
you
That's
got to be
completely different.
anti-Semitic. I don't know what that means. Cosmic urgency. Falbong says, I'm not worried about Blake's career options. That family has gin, mobile,
Oh yeah, I know.
English football, money. So yeah, no, I mean, she's going to be fine, obviously, but it's not even about money. This is the whole point I was making about it is like, what's his name's got money, bro. I mean, Steve Sarowitz, the guy's a billionaire. And believe me, Hollywood would love to have their hands in that cookie jar, but they're not even getting, that's the whole point I'm trying to make is that they don't even want their hands in that cookie jar now. That's how contaminated that shit is. And I'm telling you, Hollywood would sell its fucking firstborn child for someone's money. So you got to do some fucking, you got to be a real high risk on every possible level for Hollywood to be turning their backs on
it's
them.
very clear.
And you know what, maybe it comes back around because that money will stink. It stinks, and it that pheromone, that money pheromone. It's
Oh, like the cartoons where he's floating.
Yeah.
He's floating with his nose to the pie in the window.
Exactly
That's
that.
like when there's a billionaire anywhere in Hollywood, right?
exactly right. That's fucking agents and studio heads because they want to mitigate risks, and they, man, anybody's gonna drop fucking a quarter, like $100 million, $25 million, $50 million into a fund. Let's go.
Okay.
There's no integrity, bro.
The document also suggested that Tag explore planting stories about the weaponization of feminism and how people in Lively's circle, like Taylor Swift, have been accused of utilizing these tactics to bully into getting what they want. Would that be so bad? If what they want is feminism, would that be so fucking bad? Okay. Nathan has testified that the document was not an approved action plan, but only a preliminary document for purposes of scenario planning, with each suggestion being only a possibility. Minutes after receiving the document, Baldoni texted Abel that he was not in love with it and added, "Not sure I'm feeling the protection I felt on the call." Abel immediately shared this with Nathan, stating, "I'm going to confidentially send you something he's texting me and Jamie on the side just to arm you before this call. I think you guys need to be tough and show the strength of what you guys can do in these scenarios. He wants to feel like she can be buried."
Oh my God, bro.
Nathan,
I just see him behind bars every time I hear that.
Nathan responded, "Of course, but you know, when we send over documents, we can't send over the work we will or could do because that could get us in a lot of trouble."
Oh my God.
She added,
This is like the son testifying in this trial where this fucking jury is 8 hours going, "I don't know, man."
She added, "We can't write it down to him. We can't write 'we will destroy her.'"
Oh my God.
To which Abel replied, "Of course not, but I told him that's the point of talking through." Nathan then observed, "He has to look at it as an information document for us to be armed with. That's all. Imagine if a document saying all the things he wants ends up in the wrong hands."
Oh my God.
We can bury anyone, but I can't write that to him. I will. I'll be very tough.
Oh my God. I will.
Yes.
They're fucked, bro.
Nathan also
They're
sent
just so damn fucked.
I know it. Nathan also sent an agenda to Abel. This is why Megan Twohey wrote an article.
Exactly.
This
the
is
only
exactly
reason.
why.
It's the
Inside a
title
Hollywood
of the
smear
fucking,
machine.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Nathan also sent an agenda to Abel for an upcoming call with Baldoni, which included, in quotes, discussing a more aggressive way to get ahead of this. On August 4th, 2024, Abel messaged Nathan that she was having reckless thoughts of wanting to plant pieces this week of how horrible Blake is to work with.
I'm starting to wonder if Lyman did her a favor because this stuff is so overwhelming that when the jury hears this, it's overwhelming. Yeah. And then they're not going to be preoccupied with whether or not Blake was, actually harmed at all, because this is just explosive. I honestly wonder if the guy was like, "I got you, girl. Don't worry about it. We're going to fucking narrow this down to the real fucking issue because this is the real issue. This is why I got involved. This is why I got involved and wanted to, cover the case. Is all because of this. Oh my God.
Are we going to run out of time or should I continue?
How much do we have left?
Oh, so much. We're not going to finish it tonight.
All right, well, let's go to chat.
Okay.
Oh my God, you guys, did you hear this? Come on, man. Yeah, these guys, it's so funny because like people are like, "You didn't read it," telling me that I didn't read it, and which was true. I hadn't read it.
Oh, this is a good answer. Okay, Splishness clarified this for me. J.K. Rowling and all of the transphobes, they absolutely weaponize feminism against trans people. This is true. But those people but they have a specific title. They're called TERFs, Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists.
Yeah.
And this is why they have like a specific designation, because I don't think that feminism in itself can be weaponized against trans women. It's only if these people are very exclusionary in their application of feminism, and so that's why they have their little subgroup. But that's definitely them trying to weaponize feminism to harm other marginalized people. It's so unbelievable. Every time I see one of them do it, I'm like, don't you understand what the fight is?
Yeah.
Don't you know what we're fighting against?
You silly, silly person.
They hate them because they're women. Like, why do you hate them because they're women? Crazy. The junk farm said Baldoni put himself in the hospital to excuse missing book bonanza. I really do think that he did have a spinal infection because it was like a month or weeks prior to that, he went to Cabo or somewhere and got and got some like spinal injections from like, some like uncertified like
give me that.
It's like some experimental treatment.
Do you have it in raspberry? I'll take the raspberry spinal injection.
He went to Mexico and got spinal injections,
yeah, he did.
And then was like, "Golly, I don't know why my spine is infected now."
Oh man.
Might have been on account of that penetrating injection from a Mexican doctor.
Not that a Mexican doctor is necessarily bad. I knew a Mexican dentist. He was amazing.
No, but apparently
from Mexico and the whole thing.
What he got was these like experimental treatments. He got like stem cells injected. Come on. That's why your spine's fucked up. His own publicists were talking about what a bonehead he is for putting himself in the hospital with it.
It's never Aaron said that. I love that name, by the way. He said it's a very interesting industry full of unhinged people. Yeah, well, look at well,
It's gotta
Hollywood.
be, though.
Hollywood has listen, man, hang out, keep coming back to this live because I tell Hollywood stories all the time. I've repeated a few as Cosmic Urgency can attest to, and yeah, man, it just attracts the strangest people, but also the most. And you know this from reading the book. Some of the most amazing human beings I've ever met in my life. Like, I mean, and I think I'm fairly well cultured in that respect. Like I've been very lucky. I've worked with and met some of the coolest people you'll ever know. I'm not in the world of science and, just so in my circles, mostly the arts, but still brilliant minds, staggering personalities and, intoxicating humans all around. And then there's the fucking Baldonis. And that's why I don't like the guy as it relates to, him and what he's all about. These people who put up these facades, try to be these things that they're fucking not, to try and elevate themselves in this world so that they can get these opportunities that are then really ultimately taken away from some people out there who have worked hard, who have achieved these goals through different means. And I'm not trying to in any way take away from Baldoni's talent. The guy's talented guy. I watched the movie. I thought he was good in it. But yeah, his this idea, these people, this isn't just him. Obviously, there are so many people in Hollywood who create these just outlandish ways in which remember Angeline? There's this model. She had the biggest boobs, just boob job or whatever. She was
If you ever lived in Los Angeles
in the 90s.
around the 90s,
Yeah.
then you would know Angeline. She was like the first Kardashian type of celebrity,
Yeah.
where they're just celebrities for being celebrities and nobody can really figure out why they're famous.
Yeah, she would put up, or she would pay for billboards all over Hollywood, and she drove a pink Corvette.
Yeah, and
that
it would
you
just be
could not miss.
She was like this like that bimbo body type.
Yes.
I'm not being derogatory. It's like
no, like the Nicole, Anna Nicole Smith kind of thing.
Yeah, like hourglass figure, big blonde hair,
yeah, and just always cleavage out.
Yeah, and she'd be in
tight tank tops.
She'd be in tight clothes, on the billboard, which is wide, so it'd be a big long Corvette, and then she'd be reclined over the top of it, and it would just say Angeline in cursive writing. It's just
one of her billboards.
She wasn't advertising anything but herself.
Only herself, and one of her billboards actually got into a big movie, it was a King Kong or or the new Godzilla or something back in 2000s, in the early 2000s. One of the monsters smashed it off or something, and that was really the extent of her fame. And she's just she tried to elevate herself in this business to try and get that kind of exposure where she made it. In her mind, I'm sure she made it big time. She had to negotiate her likeness. Her likeness was in a big giant fucking movie, so. The extent to which some people will go to try and reach any form of fame, or even try to get within, the circles of the famous, can be just staggering and jaw-dropping and completely, totally unbelievable. I told the story about that guy who, mystery we make in history, going around pretending he has $100 million.
Yeah, he's a total scammer.
Total scammer.
I think that anywhere that you encounter a big population of creative people, you're going to have a big population of total head cases.
Especially when there's lots up for grabs in that space. If it's just creative people being creative.
Yeah, but they're high stakes. Yeah.
But high stakes stuff is going to bring some.
I
of the
think probably
wildest
New York
shit.
City art scene is like that too. Maybe in theater and any of these performing arts. You have to be big and bold to ever reach any level of success in those things. And so big and boldness sometimes turns into people being completely delusional about other things too.
It's weird, man. I'm glad I wasn't I just showed up and I was like, do you want to smoke some weed and make a movie? That was my whole thing.
Oh, I know. It's so great.
That's all I was. And that's the majority of people there.
I know. And they're wonderful.
Yep.
I never was in any performing arts whatsoever because I'm too chicken. But all of my friends were always.
You're now?
God, don't say that. But all of my friends were always in filmmaking or acting or something like that because they're just so fucking great to be around. I miss it. A scientist said, although I agree with Splishness that TERFs that TERFs do it, weaponizing feminism, against trans women,
Yeah.
which is why I prefer calling them farts. It's an acronym. Ready?
Yeah.
It stands for Feminism Appropriating Radical Transphobes. That's perfect.
That's really funny, dude.
You're totally right.
Damn, you got to make a t-shirt.
I know. I'm adopting that. That's great.
That's very funny. I'm glancing over here because we're on this trial watch. It is now 8 hours. It has just dinged to 8 hours.
That is
They put
so
Corey
bad.
Richards away in less than 3, and 8 hours later, with eyewitnesses, with fucking video,
With a video confession from him to his son.
a video confession of the crime to
by
his son.
himself. Nobody was even with him at the time, and he confessed to trying to kill his wife, and she got away with.
And these
got
jurors
away,
are
and he
like,
was gonna kill
I
himself.
don't know, man. He's nice.
Can anybody explain why the guy, if he had been attacked by his wife and had survived the attack, why he would tell his son, I'm going to kill myself? Why would he be suicidal if he had just survived an attempt on his life?
The same question I posed to why would he hide out in the park for 8 hours?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If he was the one attacked, why would
If he was
hide
an
for
innocent person,
He
just
knew the cops
defending
were there.
himself.
They literally said, "I'm calling 911" while he hit that last strike against her face with a rock.
When the witnesses,
So he knew the cops were coming.
When the witnesses came and interrupted the attack, why did he flee instead of
fled.
being like, "Oh my God, thank God you're here"? She
She tried to kill me. You know why? Because he hadn't thought about it yet.
He hadn't
got there yet.
No.
And it's now 8 hours and 1 minute. And I'm telling you, I would have been fine if they came back after like 3 minutes. The jury deliberated for 3 minutes, and the judge would be like, "Hey, that was fast." We'd be like, "You think so?" Because we actually, stopped for water.
We made some small talk before we all took a show of hands. Anyway, his name's Gerhard Koenig, and he deserves to already be in prison.
He is. I don't think he's out on. Maybe he is. Maybe
No,
he is.
I'm sure he's in prison.
I would have held him, man. A guy flight risk. He hid for 8 hours.
Crazy. Okay, you guys have been wonderful. Let me see if there's more in the chat.
Isn't there more? Yeah, it's been a good group.
It's never. Aaron says very, very interesting industry full of unhinged people. You read that already, right?
I already did.
Splishness says, you're absolutely right, Angela. I would never call J.K. Rowling a true feminist. Feminism is just a tool that she misuses in order to oppress others.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I guess in that
that's
same
what
way,
Justin Baldoni did, but he did it to exalt himself.
So Justin Baldoni is weaponizing feminism by saying they're going to weaponize feminism against Blake. Right?
Or he's just weaponizing feminism by
Blake weaponizes feminism is him weaponizing feminism.
See, that makes sense, right? And that Justin Baldoni's weaponizing it just by creating Man Enough alone when he's absolutely got. And he did it. It's so funny because he did it like the criminal is like right in the wide open, like this fucking Gerhardt or whatever. Like, he was like, by the way, I really shouldn't be doing this because the truth is I'm not better yet. I mean, he admits it by his own self. When he did his 50 million viewed TED Talk about his feminist, aspirations. In that talk, he literally said that he had an internal struggle about giving the talk in the first place because he only just began realizing the extent and depth of which he was misogynistic. Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Cosmic Urgency says, I'm going to clip that Angela Mexican doctor bit. Cosmic Urgency is going to get me bullied on the internet.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna get them.
Everybody's going to call me a racist. They don't realize I'm Hispanic.
Yeah. You'll just have to hold up your passport. Okay. Here's what it says on my passport.
Here's my green passport, guys. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's Never Aaron said, I'll bring my friends to the channel too. The Entourage community loves Don's Plum.
Yeah, well, I love the Entourage community. And I
said, Aaron, you're such a sweetheart. I agree.
I like, I'm very lucky that he found my book, man. I really am.
Law Scientist said that Justin Baldoni blamed his spinal infection on both Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively.
Can you imagine?
He knew what he did.
That's literally medically impossible.
I know.
That's literally medically impossible.
But he has like a psychic intuitive that he uses for medical advice. And so he was probably told that his emotions are making him sick or something, which I know can happen. But in this case, he actually got a spinal injection and then just a few weeks later developed an infection. So it's pretty clear to see the cause and effect of the situation. Unbelievable. It's Never Aaron wants to know, will you release the Leo tapes? Apparently they're already released. You're seeing people clipping them all the time.
I don't know to what extent they are, but yes, I will be. I'll be releasing all of Toby as well. I think somebody said, Cosmic Energy said we don't have Toby's side of the story, which it's not his side of the story. It's my side of the story, so it doesn't even matter. But I do have his representation of his side of the story, which I intend to release at some point.
It's Never Aaron said, Emmy Rossum is so fine, but I heard she's mean like Toby, I guess.
Didn't you say something about that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Emmy Rossum. I've never seen any of her work whatsoever, but my ex-boyfriend was a music video director. He's now a horror film director. He's doing really well. I'm proud of him. And he's a real sweetheart, and he worked really, really hard on a music video for her. And he came up with the concept. He went over to her house. He filmed it with her. He edited it himself. It turned out awesome. And when she released it on social media, she took full credit, and she never named him or anything. And he was like, what the fuck?
I hope he blows so the fuck up that Emmy Rossum is like, God damn it.
If you ever see it, it's the video where she is singing and changing outfits. Like, so it's a bunch of edits of her in different outfits that she's just changing in her bedroom from her own closet. And it's like a really cute video. She's adorable in it. It turned out really well. But that's the one that was... It's funny that he's a horror film director, so you would never think that he directed this cutesy little video of a girl changing into dresses. But that was directed by Adam Egypt Mortimer. And he should have been fucking credited, because everybody in Hollywood struggles to be, you know...
it's horrible. It's because she was a name at the time.
Yes, I know. Just
so I mean, it was like a big deal
so
for him
unnecessarily
to be...
fucking rude, you know?
Cosmic's asking when I'm going to release the tape. The Leo tapes. Well, we're going to be doing a portion of our podcast for that specifically. Happiness in Your Life said,
Cosmic Urgency said that the director of Daniel isn't real. Yes, that's him.
Oh yeah. That's Angela's ex.
Yeah. He's a really nice guy. I wish him all the success in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I've never met him, but I don't want him anywhere near my woman. You know what I'm saying? Eyes off, buddy.
I don't think he's interested.
Back off.
I think he's good.
No, he sounds like a wonderful dude. You guys had a really great relationship. It was an amicable break and all that fun stuff. So.
Yeah.
Dr. Mark Hyman and someone else also got infections from spinal injections.
Someone else wealthy and high profile. I don't remember who. This is Happiness in Your Life said.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's obviously a very risky procedure.
Hi, Happiness in Your Life. I'm so happy to see you.
Because the reason why is because your spinal fluid is not does not get circulated with your blood and filtered the same way.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. If anything gets in there, it doesn't have the same easy way of your body attacking an infection the way that it would if you got like a cut on your hand or something, you know?
Right.
So it's extremely risky to inject or introduce any foreign body into your spine. It's just
of course.
Your spinal fluid.
It goes without saying.
I know it goes without saying.
You don't need a degree. You don't even need a fucking big fucking red warning on something. You know, it's obvious. I'm going to put this in my spine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bro, I mean, I grew up experimenting with drugs. 0 times was I willing to inject them. 0 times. I was like, man, that's just too high level for me, buddy. You know, I think I need a doctor present. I mean, it's just the madness involved in that whole concept in your brain.
But it was Colleen Hoover's fault.
Disgusting.
I know.
And misogynistic.
I know. After all she gave to him.
Yeah.
After all that she and Blake Lively gave to him, this is the thanks that they get.
It does drive me crazy.
They're getting blamed for shit that they couldn't possibly have ever had any involvement in.
He literally bought a mansion. He literally bought a fucking mansion.
Yeah.
And he had the same deal as Blake Lively, same back end deal. So they made, you know, they up to $10 million each on 340. And that's the minimum. They're still getting checks. They got 10%, bro. They're still getting checks.
Unbelievable.
Hey, listen, let me ask Aaron something while he's here. Aaron, how did you feel about the way I wrote Kevin Connolly in the book? I'm just curious. Let me know what you think in terms of like, did he come off the page as Kevin Connolly to you?
Because
like
they're all fans of Entourage.
Yeah, they're fans of Entourage. So I'm curious about how you felt. Like, how did you think Kevin read? Like, did he read like the or did I miss the mark a little bit there? He was the guy I was most worried about writing. 100%. I was like, when I think when people take on big projects, screenplays, books, whatever, when you sit down and you start writing it, you're like, oh my God, this is this is so big, and you start like almost talking yourself out of it with how big it is. This is going to take several drafts, blah blah blah, whatever. The story's missing that. Well, for me, when I sat down and started writing the memoir, I was like, how am I going to represent Kevin Connolly? Because I think he's like one of the wittiest, kind of funniest guys I ever met. Like he also had a very, I don't know, really, really tough.
Cosmic Urgency says, I'll work with Justin Baldoni.
Yeah.
And we can talk about his dong all day long.
I know, I responded to you. Can you imagine? Hey man, you circumcised?
You know,
oh, you want to just see?
Dude, in his somebody asked in one of the depositions, why is the group of friends that you talk to online, you have like a whole like text chain, a big group, like it's your Baha'i prayer group or something. They were like, how come it's all men? And he was like, oh, because we have a men's group and then the women have the women's group.
You know,
like,
because it's
as if
Baha'i
it just
faith.
made sense.
As if it just made, yeah, of course.
As if that's just like the explanation.
Because, you know, sometimes I just need to be with male energy, buddy.
So maybe they do just sit around and talk about their dongs all day long.
It's just so fucking weird. I've never in my life
Is that what
ever
men do?
needed
I have no
to
idea.
I found myself in all men groups, you know, but even then that's not even true. Like, well, that's, you know, when I first started my dart league here, it was just dudes. But then we got a woman. She was our second best player. Second to me.
Of course.
Remember her?
Yeah, and it was no thing.
It was not a thing. We didn't think about it. It was like, well, it's kind of a men's thing.
I think it would have been an issue if she didn't drink beer, is what the problem would have been.
No, we had another guy who didn't drink beer. Listen, it's just weird to me that there's such a thing as like that. You need that, you know? But then, you know, the girls do their thing, right? They go to the bathroom or whatever.
Well, here's the thing.
Shopping days.
Because somebody has to hold your hair back when you puke. That's why girls go to the bathroom together. No, I don't know. I've never experienced that before. I know that I've always like overheard other like girl conversations in the bathroom, and it's always just like really, really fucking cute and supportive and very sweet and complimentary. They're just like absolute angels in there. And I think that's probably why they enjoy it.
It's just a weird thing to need. Like it happens. The point is like life just happens that way. You know, I ended up in all men's groups when we, you know, my bowling league. I was in a bowling league. I'm kidding.
You weren't?
No, well, when I was a kid.
How disappointing.
When I was a kid, I used to bowl at Billy Mosienko's bowling league it was Police and Pals, it was called.
Oh my God. Did it have a sign that said Billy Mosienko's bowling?
It had a bowling pin, big bowling pin. Uh-huh. Was a big one, giant outside, you know, like a side, you know, on the side of the building.
Yeah.
And then Billy Mosienko in the bowling pin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, vertically.
That's so great.
And then bowling lane at the bottom and like neon. It was the greatest ever, dude. And
This is the thing
I
that
went bowling with police.
This is what I miss about the modern day architecture and stores and businesses is that they don't do the signage like they used to. Like one of the things I love so much about Los Angeles is they've kept a lot of that old signage and they really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Probably because it's featured in a bunch of movies all the time, but nobody's making new buildings and doing cool as fuck decorative signage anymore. We need to bring that back.
I agree.
Billy Mosienko's bowling? Is that what it said?
Yeah, Billy Mosienko's bowling lane.
In neon. Bowling pin with the name down it.
I loved it.
He must have been like, this is so great. Well, I know that the neon artist was like, fuck yes. Because it's a really big name. So of course he put it down.
My dad was a big bowler. He was missing a middle finger on his bowling hand. And so he stuffed it with, you know, whatever, some kind of stuffing, you know, fabric.
Like cotton or something?
Yeah.
Stuffed it in there?
But it would pop every time he threw. You know? Like,
his little nub
yeah.
would pop out of the bowling ball?
Every time. Like loud, you know, when you do that? Super loud. Every time.
I bet he greased it up so it would
You could hear
really
it like 4 lanes over. He'd be like, what was that?
That's amazing.
Yeah. He would just get the end of it in, you know, because it was below the knuckle and he would just get the end of it in there.
I love that he didn't let that stop him.
He was a good bowler.
That he's like, he had a bowling disability.
He used to do that with the kids, you know, because like little kids would be there and then my dad would just go and then he'd turn around and his entire finger's gone. And they'd be just like, they just could not believe it.
That's so great.
It's like a magic trick.
I know. It's like, it makes you kind of want to lose a few of these digits. So you could,
just for the entertainment purposes.
Kids.
He made light of it.
How'd he lose it? You have to explain. How'd he lose his finger?
He was a truck driver and he was unloading and a forklift came off and they pinched it. It was coming off the truck somehow, and either underneath or below, but anyway, he pinched it. and then he got sepsis, and so they just kept taking it down with sepsis.
Ugh.
So he started at the end above the knuckle, and he ended up below the knuckle, and he went into sepsis a couple times.
Oh, because he wasn't doing wound care properly.
No,
huh?
no, not my dad. My dad was fucking covered in fucking butter and whatever else, because he loves to bake.
That's the thing. Some patients, I bet some doctors are like, listen, we are trying to help you, sir. But if you don't go home and keep this clean, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking messy trucker. What else?
It seems like I did. Would you have Kevin on the show to talk about his side? I absolutely would. 100%. I would have him on here.
I would not be here that day because I think that guy needs to apologize way more and way sooner.
It would get so
for
contentious,
all
though.
the damage that he's done.
It gets so contentious, dude. Because I would be because the minute he tried to fucking pull bullshit on me, I'd be, fuck you, bro. I would actually, you know what? I would prepare with his deposition. Oh my God, dude. I would have everything. Well, really? Because this is what you actually said back in the day when your memory was fresher. Wouldn't you agree your memory was fresher 30 years ago? He's funny and his talking style is identical to his interview, so it's good to know. I don't know if you're talking about my writing there.
A scientist said about girls that go to the bathroom together.
Yeah.
A scientist said also the drunk girl stranger convos in bathrooms are so completely wholesome.
Yeah, I bet.
Like drunk girls don't get belligerent. They get really complimentary and like super sincere.
Yeah. For some reason, I wrote this scene in my book where we're hanging out with Brittany Murphy. We're drinking. She drank too much. And she goes into a hotel bathroom where she thinks she's going to get sick. She goes into the stall, and instead of getting sick, she sings. And she heals herself. It was a really beautiful moment. It was one of the coolest moments I ever had in Hollywood. And it wasn't just because it was Brittany Murphy. She was just a friend to me. It was the moment itself that was just so goddamn special. And these are the kind of things that go on in Hollywood where you're like, fuck,
Oh, I know. Where like
where would that ever happen?
You'll be hanging out with somebody for like 5 years already before they break out their like crazy wild talent.
Oh my God.
And
she
they're
sang like fucking like Bonnie Raitt. I was just like,
amazing.
Holy shit. The voice was magic. But I neglected to put in that because I was fumbling with the scene when I was drafting it. I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to write her out. But Artie's wife, now wife, but then girlfriend, Amy Israel was with us. She was the one who put her in the bathroom. We didn't walk her into the bathroom. It was a woman's bathroom. But I was like, people aren't going to notice. And they didn't, or so it seems. But it was actually Amy Israel who walked her into the bathroom. And then when there was no one else in there, because it was like 2 a.m. or whatever, she was like, you guys can come in. No one's in here. So we went in.
Cosmic Urgency is asking, did you know Brittany in 99, 2000?
Yes, I did. Actually, in 99, 2000, she was trying to get my wife to be her personal assistant. We had an argument about that, me and my ex.
It's Never Aaron answered your question. Did you hear this?
No.
Did you see this? Okay.
No, I missed it. I couldn't find it. I was looking for it feverishly.
It's Never Aaron said he's, let's see. He's funny and his talking style is identical to interviews. So it's good to know that he didn't change with age. This is probably not about your book. He's Unk now. He's older.
Yeah, that's funny.
Though, because most of his fans come from Entourage and they all make fun of his directing ventures. He said he made Mafia movie and we all hated it, to be honest.
Yeah, Gotti.
It's Never Aaron said, yeah, I'm saying you wrote him well to my taste.
Oh, okay, great. Well, that's cool. That was the guy I was most worried about writing. Truth is, I probably wrote him better than I wrote, maybe even Toby. Although I wrote Toby pretty well, I think. We'll see. Whatever.
Good night, Tangerine Gora said, good night, everybody. I hope I enjoyed the live today, but I have a flight to catch tomorrow.
Oh, fly safely.
Have safe travels.
Yes, safe travels.
Enjoy your journey.
Indeed. May whatever you're traveling for be a delight. All right, 2:22 just passed. Why don't we hit the road? 8 hours and 19 minutes into a jury that it just. Well, if this one's hung, we're gonna cover the retrial. I promise you that.
I hope they retry him. Oh my God.
They'll retry him.
Oh, good.
The evidence is overwhelming.
Yes.
It's overwhelming.
Oh my God.
They're not gonna let him walk.
No.
They're gonna fucking try him again for sure. And we'll be covering it. Promise you that. You guys are tremendous. I had a really great time tonight. I hope you did too. Thank you for reading.
Oh yeah.
You did wonderful.
Are we coming back tomorrow or the next day?
We're gonna come back tomorrow, are we not?
Sure.
How much do we have left?
Oh, Archival Raccoon wants to know any reason the last Astrology Live is not on Patreon anymore.
Oh shit! I didn't post it. I'll post it as soon as I finish here. I just didn't post it. I forgot to do that. I'm bad.
Yeah,
I'm bad.
thanks for reminding us.
Yeah, I'll get it ready for you guys. Actually, Neptune was fun. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, you guys. Until mañana, we'll see you. I hope your rest of your night is filled with fucking joy.